Hi, Betty.
Hi, Eric.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Okay. You're looking good.
Thank you. Yeah, kama kawaida.
Yeah. So what's up with you? What's good? What's new with you?
Why did you say good like that?
What's good?
What's good? Anyway, everything is good. I'm good. Work is good. What's new? Some projects coming up.
Some projects.
Yep.
Sounds big.
Yeah, it is. It is big.
Vague. Eh?
Vague. Oh no, it's a writing project. Yeah, and
Oh, you said it's big.
yeah, it's gonna be big.
Okay.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Pause. Ujaget your joke. Sawa, tuanze. So welcome back to Conversations in Literature. I am your host, Miyamoto Muswahili. I am joined by one of our usual suspects, Betty Kilonzo. Make some noise for Betty Kilonzo again. Just here. Yeah, so Betty Kilonzo is an author. He's the author of Closure, the author of Jerusalem, the author of Househelp Manual, and soon to be the author of...
You almost got me. You almost got me. No, it's a secret for now.
Is that secret?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you already have the title?
I do have the title. Yeah.
Is that a novel?
No, short stories.
Short stories?
Yes.
You have the title?
Yes, I do.
Is it a one-word title?
One word, no. Not like Closure, no. It's like a sentence.
You know, most of your books have the one word.
Jerusalem. I know, right? Yeah, I was
Closure.
actually telling who? Oh, Eugene Kabasa, shout out. I was telling him, he was telling me how he likes long titles, and I was telling him I prefer short titles. I feel like it's better for selling the book, mostly. But I mean, I've seen books with long titles that were good, yeah. And also, I feel like it's a very Kenyan thing.
To have?
To have long titles.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The River Between, you know.
That's a short title.
The River Between?
3 words.
This is like, it's a sentence.
Do you know my...
How many Kenyan books do you know?
How many words my book, the title of my book has?
No, how many?
It's like 5.
Okay.
It's a surreal journey of discovery.
Yes.
That's 5.
I saw your book and I was like, what's up with this guy? Like, you couldn't summarize this.
It's a lyrical title.
Just say surreal journey.
Actually, most
journey of discovery.
Poetry and short stories, they usually have long titles.
Really?
Novels have short titles.
Oh.
It's a thing.
Well, it's going to be a long title and it's going to be short stories.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, I think like short stories, it's really hard to have one title, you know, because, you know, you have to say and other stories down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you doing a memoir once upon a time, one day?
Not right now. Not the project that I'm working on.
Will you do a memoir soon?
Yes.
You know, Tony likes to say nobody under 50 or a certain age should do a memoir. Yeah. Maybe even 60.
And I agree with him to a certain degree because the same Tony.
But you told me Closure is a memoir, right?
It's a memoir for that love. For the love that we had. It's a graveyard, you know. It was a tombstone, you know. When you really love somebody and you want to let them go, first you have to cement them somehow, you know. That's permanence.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can either like do a photo shoot, like the one I did with Charity. You know? Yeah. Or you can write a book.
You do like to do photo shoots for your projects?
Oh, yeah, the one that I had with the books?
Yeah, like, I thought that was a very good way to roll out your book. It's a good way to roll out your book.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Closure. I think it was Jerusalem, where it has the black and white. Yes. So you wore a white shirt, a black tie, and some jeans, I think. I don't remember what color the jeans were.
They were blue.
And
blue. Black shoes, black boots. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, especially because these ones are self-published, I have to do anything and everything to market it since I don't have a whole team.
Okay.
Yeah, but with Househelp Manual, most of the photos that I get are from the events that Ikitab organizes for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's somebody who said on your first interview.
Yeah.
Actually, wacha nikusomee comments
Yeah.
Kuna Kathy alisema I love Betty.
Oh.
My friend Audrey Koskei.
Yeah.
Alisema Betty Kilonzo is a delight and a star in the making.
Audrey
I can't wait to read Closure. No, ngoja. I can't wait to read Closure. This is just fun. Why are you reading more into it?
Mimi, I know love when I hear it. And that is love. That is love.
Bedruga akasema, please go into that scary direction, Betty. Shall we add eloquence in this truthful women tag? Now, yes. Then kuna mtu alieka Audrey alicomment tena akasema she's so unhinged in the best possible way. I'm obsessed.
See, I'm obsessed. I knew it. My instincts are never wrong.
Ulikuwa umesema our ancestors are gods. Kuna sasa Vimoniki akasema our ancestors are not gods though. Alafu akaongeza Betty is amazing. Then Audrey akakuja tena akaeka zile quotes zako. Kuna mahali ulisema I am alive in recovery. Kuna mahali ulisema I have worked really hard to become an honest person.
I have.
Then akasema she's so funny and insightful. Enyewe.
Wananipenda.
Mike Garoya akasema so who is Betty? I'm yet to know but I like her vibe sana. Flo akasema the host speaks like my ex. I hate that. But I have to be I have to be here because of Betty.
Unaona? In spite of Captain.
Then Deborah Munyoki akasema this girl, don't I just love you? Anyway, so the comment I was referring to is another one by Deborah. Is it Deborah or Deborah?
Unatafuta the negative.
Yeah, Deborah Munyoki. It's a good comment. Alisema she's an alchemist. I love you, Betty.
That's so.
I liked that part of she's an alchemist.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I want us to talk about.
Deborah, you're out here giving free content.
Do you know what's an alchemist?
Tell me about it.
An alchemist it's like in the ancient days, it was like the original version of a chemist. Like how before there was astronomy, there was astrology.
Yeah.
So before there was chemistry, there was alchemy. So the alchemist was somebody who understood how to mix things, how to work with substances.
Yeah.
And one of the things they really wanted to do was to turn lead, or is it lead, into gold. So that's it. But then alchemy had also a spiritual version of it, like most things in the ancient days. So you see, the astronomy wasn't just a science, it was also spiritual because it had astrology.
Yeah.
So you are looking at the stars, you know where every stars are, where the constellations are, but also you understand how that influences things like war, things like your personal life, right? So they used to use the stars to interpret reality, yeah? So the alchemist was not only trying to turn... Are we together?
Nasikia niko lecture.
Ngoja.
Let me tell you, my mind was very interested. Then it switched to, wow, nako serious na hii topic. Then nikafika mali, my brain was just like, wow, aki lecture ishi.
So, wacha to bring it into home.
Nasikia niko second semester.
Let us bring it home.
Hii university ya nani? Minyamoto.
Let us bring it home,
Waswahili.
The alchemist hakuwa only trying to turn material substances into something else, lead into gold. There was also the spiritual aspect of it, where you transform
energy.
Yourself.
Oh, myself. Okay.
Yes.
My energy.
I don't know. Like you transform yourself into maybe the highest version of yourself. The most pure, the wisest.
The top of the pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy. You know, self-actualization.
Yeah. But now more spiritual.
Yes.
Alright. So now that's interesting. I found the comment interesting because
me being an alchemist means I'm in that journey, in that path of transforming myself.
It means, I think she meant that you have the ability to turn something into something else.
Oh yeah.
So
don't we all?
So the title of that video, the title I put was how to turn pain into money through the power of the pen. You
guys were like.
So you see, if you turn, maybe it's not us guys, maybe it's what we see in you, right? Iko wapi hiyo nini? Iko wapi hiyo? Volume,
okay.
Yeah. So that ability to turn something into something else.
Yeah.
So let's you were telling me after you came for the interview, right? Vitu mzuri zilianza kutoka.
Yeah.
Can tell us about that? That's a part of proving the alchemy.
Yeah, you know, like, first of all, I was on TV. I went and watched myself on my big screen, you know.
On the interview? This interview?
Yeah, I watched this interview, you know, home on the big screen. And I was showing my son, like, see your mama? You know, and it was good because it also intimidated my house girl. Hey, akaona we mdusu wake anakuanga kwa TV. You know, so more respect. Alinipatia mad respect, you know, after that. So I was like, that's good. Yeah, and then after that, I started getting calls for, you know, moderations and events, and that is how, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm a moderator at Mka Forum, which is held at Goethe Institute, Monrovia Street. Yeah, we are there every last Saturday of the month. Kama this week on Sato.
It's this Saturday?
Yeah, it's this Saturday. Okay. It's this Saturday. So this Saturday tukutane huko. Let us talk. We read stories and poems from different authors, you know, and then we sit and we critique. We don't criticize, we critique. Na sisi ni watu wa Montessori, you know. So we will be like, we are very good and gentle, and we do not you know, encourage any negativities, negative energies. That is.
Also, you are now an editor.
Yeah, I'm also an editor. Yeah, so that's good. And I'm still a writer, and I'm still hot.
Yeah. So, before you came into writing, ulikuwa in the, what were you? Ilikuwa at the airport.
Aviation. Yeah.
Aviation.
Yeah.
Kuna siku nilikuona tuko. Your story.
Yeah, before aviation, nilikuwa Mjengo.
Ulikuwa Mjengo?
Yeah. Na before Mjengo, you know, let me tell you, this has been a whole journey. A whole journey. We can go back. Before aviation, kulikuwa Mjengo. Now, the Nairobi people, or the people that have known Betty Kilonzo Black Startles, they know the story from the Mjengo. They think the Mjengo is the foundation. That's why, like, that's the ground where I grew from. But actually, before Mjengo, there was hawking.
Hawking? Okay.
I was hawking food. You know, Changamu, watu wangu wa Changamu, najua mwanijua, najua mwanikumbuka. But some of them, bado wako na madeni zangu, 20 bob zangu. I used to sell uji. Nilikuwa nauza uji. Na, you know, the kajerican. 20 bob per glass. And then lunchtime nauza mchele. I used to cook food in my house and then put them in little plates and then nabeba na bags, uru bags, I go sell. So before Mjengo, there was that, you know. And also during that moment, I was also like in a marriage, you know. And before the marriage, there was these jobs that I was also doing, like, so it's been like a whole journey. Yeah, spiraling up.
So your time ulikuwa unauza uji, you are married?
Yeah.
Haukuwa unateseka basically? Ama ulikuwa unateseka?
This is the problem with Kenyan writers. Show don't tell. I already showed you that nilikuwa nateseka hadi nauza uji. While in marriage, you know, I don't have to say it. Okay. But let's not talk about the marriage.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious because you know.
No. Marriage, actually, we can talk a little bit about the marriage. The thing is, you know, like I really loved him, and I was young. He was a little bit older than me. I was, let's say, 19 when we were starting, when we started dating. Yeah.
But you know, when girls get married so early sometimes, especially to somebody older, so they're usually running away from home.
I had actually physically ran away from home.
Okay.
I ran away from home when I was 18. And then I went to Kitui town. So I think that's when my life officially started, you know. But these other things, those happen when you're in the arms of a guardian or something, right? But so basically after Form 4, I was in school at Viola Girls. So after my Form 4, you know, my guardians were like, okay, you know, you haven't really gotten the marks to give you like a straight pass to university, but don't worry, kaa hapa kwa nyumba, we will enroll you in uni, right? And you know, so I stayed home. I stayed home like 2015, 2017. Like every time I applied to so many universities. I applied to teaching college in Kitui teaching college. I applied for law. I applied for journalism. Zote I was getting accepted. Every time I would be accepted, you know, my guardians would be like, we don't have money, wait for the next, apply for another one. We don't have money. Everything was expensive. So I stayed 2 years, let's say 3 years, because when I was living home, it was like towards the end of the year, you know. Nikaka, yani watching your friends, those, the people, you know, first of all, me in uni, in high school, it's not like I was, you know, failing. But I was struggling a lot with my mental health. That was the first time I was diagnosed with depression. So I was really going through a lot. By the time I was finishing, like sitting for my KCSE, I was in a very bad state of mind. I was just grateful to be alive, you know. I didn't even care about the exams. I was just happy that I'm alive. And so I wasn't surprised really when the results came out, and I had missed the pass mark for, you know, going straight to university. And then all of these things started happening. And now you're watching people that you're in school with, wako second year, you know, everybody has a purpose. Wako nyumbani tu. And there was no house girl, you know. I was the one who was doing everything. So it's basically I've turned into a house girl. And I remember one time I approached my auntie and I told her, because I thought to myself, if I was doing all of this work I'm doing in this house as a house girl, I would be saving right now to take myself to university, because they keep saying hakuna pesa. But if I was a house girl, they would be paying me, right? So I was thinking I should just go to someone's house. In these years that I'm waiting for them wapate pesa, I can also be saving up my own money. And I approached my auntie and I was like, I would like to go look for a job as a house girl. She told me, hell no, you're not, nobody from under my roof is gonna become a house girl. You know, like she really discouraged me from that. So I was like, okay, cool. So this was, I think 2016. You know, I'm getting restless because I'm home. I feel useless. I just finished Form 4. I don't have anything. I don't have a relationship. I'm not going to school. There's nothing I'm doing. I'm just rotting in the house. So I just wanted to make myself feel like my life has some sort of purpose, you know. Anyway, so when she said no, she said, but if you want a job, you can look for another job. So I went and found a job as a cashier in this wines and spirits. She told me, apana, you're not going to work in an alcohol place. And then now new conditions were, whatever job you get, make sure it allows you to do all of the house chores and then come back in the evening before the kids come back from school. So that was the time I realized they were setting me up for failure. And then I just stopped trying. So yeah, so we were just having some family problems.
Were you angry? Were you angry?
Angry?
Yeah.
No.
You were not angry at them?
No.
Why not?
Because of the way they brought me up, you know.
Okay.
Like, I was brought up being told that as an orphan, they were doing me a favor, you know. So it's not my right to be taken to school. It's not my right to eat, to sleep at their place. You know, it's not my right. I don't have any rights. Actually, she clearly told me that in my face. She told me like, I remember I had 100 bob and I needed 50 bob so I could go buy a bra. And then I went and I was like, hi auntie, can I borrow 50 bob? She told me later. So I did it was like around lunchtime. So we finished with lunch, cleared the plates, washed, nikaona majioni zinafika, and I needed to run to Mtindwa. I go get that bra. It was a really pretty, you know, white with lace, you know. So I went and tried to remind her, like, hey, auntie, you remember the 50 bob that you told me? Unaweza nisaidia nayo nikimbie? Hey! I think I just got her on a bad time because she lashed at me. She was like, what, you're so like entitled. You don't have any right. She clearly told me, like, it's not your right in this house for anything. We are doing you a favor. So if somebody is doing you a favor to paying your school fees, how can you be angry at them if they decide not to pay? I was internally grateful the whole time I was there, and I was also feeling their struggle in a way, you know. So, and I knew that, you know, I was an extra burden. Actually, for me, my motivation to even like be better and go to school and pass, and I had such a burden on my shoulders when I didn't get the pass mark, you know, because I wanted to make them proud. I wanted them to feel like the investment in me was worth it. And also, I wanted to grow up as fast as I can and be as stable as fast as I can so that I can lift that burden off of them, like take care of my sister or just take any extra burdens that they have. Like, I really hated to see them, you know, struggling so hard. Yeah, anyway, so what made me run away from home was that my uncle told me, because we don't have money, we are going to, when I got my ID, he said, we're going to open a bank account for you, na jina yako. And then we will be depositing pesa hapo every month, saving up for you to go to uni. And then he gave me 3,500. I went to the bank. No, 3,700, yeah. I went to the bank. I opened an account. I was so scared. It was my first time ever being in a bank, like doing some serious things like those. Kwanza that 3K, I was hiding it while I was working. I was feeling like I'm carrying my future, you know. So I went and opened this account. Inside, nikaeka 3,500.
Which bank was it?
It was cooperative. Yeah, so actually that account, I still use it. It's still the account I use to date, you know. Yeah, so I went, I opened. I felt really hopeful because this was like 2018. It was like at the beginning of 2018. I felt hopeful because this was a physical manifestation that we are actually making progress towards my university. It gave me hope. So I went to open this bank. And then, yeah, we continued, nikaendelea, you know, just staying at home. But at least I was hopeful, you know. I knew they were saving I was waiting for end months like crazy because I knew every end of the month they're saving something. I didn't know how much it was, but I knew whatever it was something, at least it was there, you know. After, I think like 7 months or more, I don't even know how many months it was. You know, this was now towards when I was running away. My uncle called me one day. I remember the previous night, I had requested my auntie if I could go to Shago because I was feeling really, really overwhelmed. The kids had closed for school, you know, they had closed school and I'm the one who's taking care of them. I was so overwhelmed with work and everything. Mimi nikaona acha tu niende Shago like a few days nitoroke kazi. My auntie knew, of course, that natrai kutoroka kazi. She yelled at me, you know, she was like, unaenda nyumbani alafu watoto waangalia nani, vitu kama hizo. So in the morning, I stopped my uncle and I tried to, you know, beg my uncle, like, please, why do you talk to your wife? You know, I just want to go home for a few days. I promise I'll be back. I really needed a break, honestly. But my uncle was like, we'll talk about that. Later, I was like around 11, you know, he calls me and he was like, hey, Betty, I want you to go to your account and withdraw 3,000 for me. Unitumia, I will refund you. I told him, okay. I go to the bank. In fact, I'm feeling happy because, you know, like I know, you know, my dream is to relieve these people, you know. So I felt like I'm so happy I have an account. At least my account can be used for emergencies and stuff like that. And I can't believe my uncle needed me. Like he reached out to me. Anyway, so I ran to the bank. I go to withdraw the money. And, you know, I asked the lady, how much is in the account? Because I wanted to know how close we were to this university dream. She said 3,500. What? Say, yeah. All these months, they had not deposited a single dime. The 3,500 that they had given me the first time, ndio ilikuwa hapo, and he wanted me to lend him the 3,000. I couldn't believe it. Like, that shattered me. That honestly broke me. I went to the M-Pesa, sent him the money, and withdrew the 500. I went home. I bought the Nigerian bags. I bought a Nigerian bag, packed all of my clothes, all of my shoes. Now you see, I bought this Nigerian bag like 350, you know. So now I'm remaining with like 150, right? I don't even have fare, but I'm leaving. I don't even know where I'm going. So I called a friend. I told her, it was actually a classmate from Julia. I called her and I was like, hey, Jackie, you know, this and this has happened. Can you please, you know, sort me out? She sent me 500 and that 500 changed my life. Because with the 150, I got on a matatu, went straight to country bus, got to country bus, I paid 400 shillings. I went to Kitui. I didn't even know where I was going, but I went to my sister. When I was on my way, I remembered my sister. I called my sister. My sister took me in, you know, and then later I went to Kitui town and started living with a friend that I had actually made on Facebook. You know, a girlfriend I had made on Facebook, and that is how I left home. You know, they called, and they never called me. Actually, they never looked for me. They never called me. They never looked for me. You know, actually, when I was running away, I was waiting for them to look for me, you know. I was waiting for them to be like, Betty, come back. We'll talk about it. Betty, you know. Nope. For like 3, 4, 5 days, nobody looked for me. Nobody called me. If they did, you know me, I'm such a softie and such a simp. I would have gone back. I would have gone home.
With any demands? With any demands?
No.
Just gone back home.
I would just have assumed that because they called me, then they are going to do right by me, you know. But they never called me, so I realized they don't care. So
all these years?
I mean, we later started talking, but they never called me, you know, like to even ask, like, where are you? Are you dead? You know? Yeah, so I was like, whatever happens to me out there in the streets, to hell with it, because they don't care. So I left, I went, this girl, we started living together. That is where now my life officially, that's what I'm saying, like my life officially began. And my very first job, I was working at this cloth store of a Somali guy. His name was Mr. Grab. Hey, Grab. Grab was a nice guy. He was paying me 4,000 per month though. Grab. Now that I'm grown up, I'm realizing, that was not okay. Yeah, so first job, I was earning 4,000 per month. I was co-sharing bills with this lady. Nyumba yetu yenyewe ilikuwa 4,000. So she only asked me to pay like half of the rent peke yake. So when I give her my 2,000 nabaki na 2K. Kwanza nimesema hivyo nikakuwa triggered. Anyway.
Mbona?
Kwa sababu nimekumbuka when I fell in love, I keep my salary. My whole 2,000 nilitumia kubaia huyu chali vitu. Don't see it. But wacha tupeleke story tu pole pole. Anyway, so I would give her 2,000, mimi nabaki na 2K. So hii 2K ndio natengeneza nywele, you know, like I use for lunch, Yeah, so I worked there for 1 month. I worked there for 2 months. So in my second month, I told the manager, the manager was like a Kamba guy, nikamwambia, you know me, I came to this job because I'm actually saving up money for university. And I know right now I'm not getting paid much, but Grab told me that in just a few months, if I prove to him that I'm a good sales lady, he will promote me. I can't wait for when I'll be making like 15,000. He laughed because he had been working for Grab for 7 years and yet he was getting 9,000. So me who even began with the 4,000, I was like way better, than him. So nika imagine, kama 7 years anapata 9K, nitaifikia 15 kwa hii place. So I had to leave. I left and then I went, and that is when I went and...
How long were you there?
2 months. On that second month, that's when I found out.
So you're telling me you fell in love within those 2 months?
No. Si tunapeleka story pole. Hatujafika hapo kwa fall in love.
Okay.
So I moved my job now. I got this kaposta ya Generations Kenya. No, not Generations Kenya. Livelihoods. Livelihoods Kenya. They were doing a training for sales and marketing, and then unaenda unauza jikokoa. So I love learning. So when I saw my opportunity to learn sales and marketing, I went in, I learned, and then we started doing our sales. At least ulikuwa unapata like a basic or salary of a good amount. And then after that, the more you sell, you get commissions, commissions. So at least that I was feeling more in control of my finances because I know the more I sell, the more I earn.
Was your basic more than the 4K?
Yes, actually. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so I think it was this transition between Grab and Livelihoods when now, I met, my baby daddy. I've never thought I will ever use that word, baby daddy. It sounds so...
This one, the person you're married to?
Okay. My ex-husband.
Okay.
Those words are big.
Why don't you just say your husband?
Because we ain't married.
No, you were at that time.
Technically,
I always think baby daddy is like when people are not married.
He's my ex-husband.
Okay.
Anyway, so this guy, I'm not gonna say much about him because he's not like the other guys I've met in life. This is literally the father to my child. So I don't like, airing. What stays in the Kilonzo stays in the Kilonzos. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Is Kilonzo your name or his name?
Kilonzo is my name.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can't use his name now, So for me, it's like, you don't air family stuff out there.
Respect.
Yeah. I mean, it's sarcastic or it's ironic coming from me who just aired my other family stuff. But for me, I feel like my marriage was like, it might not have been the perfect one, but it was a step towards becoming me, And also, we have an agreement, which is, like him is like this. Okay. So if I say anything bad about my ex-husband, right? That's like also saying something bad about my son. In a way, because that's his dad. And I know, like, even if it was him, I don't know, maybe he would say something bad about me. But then, which makes it even more, like, the need to not say anything bad because we ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? I'll talk about the good stuff. Let's talk about how I fell in love, right? So this guy was the brother to the lady that I was staying with. He came for the small brother's birthday. This is the boyfriend to the lady I was staying with. So 2 brothers. This one brother comes. You seen the vision? Aki, the way you're nodding, I'm feeling like I've confused you.
No, I'm just very bad with things like this was the grandfather of the father of the son.
Let's give them X.
My brain cannot compute. So, but you said he was the brother of the boyfriend to the girl you were staring at.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah. At least we are good there. So he came for a birthday party, and that's how we knew each other, And like we were dating for a very short period. Red flag. we were dating for we dated for, if I count correctly, 3 or 4 months. And I remember the very first week when we got together, there was this pressure. He was actually engaged to a girl. Okay, I'm going to admit my sins. This is a rare moment because I don't do this, but I'm going to admit something.
I don't do this.
To my sins. Yeah, I don't do this. You're my first confessor.
Nairobi girl.
So, actually, what happened is, before he came, this lady that I was staying with, she was telling me about the brother to her boyfriend, and the way he's such a nice guy, and he's engaged and he's getting married to this girl, whatever name, Let me call her like A. So he was saying, let me call the guy M, right? So he was saying the way M is so nice, and M is engaged to A, and he's such a nice boyfriend. And then I was like, let me see his picture. Then I saw the picture, and then I was like, I remember because I was wearing we were wearing booty shorts, and we loved to listen to Kwangwaru. So that memory is so fresh in my head, I was like, I can have him if I wanted to. She was like, nah way, this guy is he's my ex-husband, he was bookish in a way, So he was like, no, this is not your typical guy. This guy is so strict. He's strict and he's bookish and he's all of these things. And they're these professor-looking people. These people look serious-ish, professor-ish, bookish. They look like you'd probably meet them in a library. Yeah, well, later I came to realize he doesn't like reading, which was bad. But he had the look.
Okay.
So he was like, and I mean, I could see what she was saying. He was also strict looking. Kaule mse serious, aizi tingika, So
Stable.
Yeah. So the lady was like, no. In fact, he loves that girl to the heavens and back. In fact, I've never seen people more in love than these ones. I was like, nah. She gave me his number. It would be 2 days.
So it was a bet.
It wasn't a bet per se. It was more girls do this.
It was a dare.
It was like a dare. Yeah, it was like a dare. She was like, okay, here's the number.
Okay.
By morning, me and him were already on the stage where you share songs. And I remember one of the songs that he shared to me was Parachichi by, what is his name? Damn, I've forgotten the name. Hold on, can I Google it?
Yeah, sure.
Can I also play it a little bit?
Sure. And unless it's, YouTube.
Oh, yeah, that. This name. I've forgotten this name. No, it's not coming. This one is by Zuchu. Zuchu is singing everything nowadays. It's a guy. Madini Classic. Oh, my God. Yes, that's. So that's like.
Right.
That one. Yeah, you guys can go. It's actually a really nice song. So that one.
Umsa nachaka.
Kwa nini you don't like the song?
Huyu jamaa apewe mic. Atuambie.
Ako hapa napiga my reactions behind the camera. So I texted him at night. Morning we were already sharing songs, that time we used to listen to a lot of R&Bs, all of that. Actually, country music. I was so much into country music. Luke Bryan. I sent him play it again, play it again, play it again. You know that song?
No.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Only for me to come
last time ulifanya watu
realize.
You made watu wanichongoe juu nilisema sijui Steven Kanumba ni nani.
How can you not?
Sasa now
ulienda kumresearch.
Yeah, kiasi.
Yeah, he had such a big story.
Okay.
Yeah, he was my first conspiracy, because I had a Lulu and Illuminati and stuff like that. Yeah, and I was very young. So that was my first time experiencing conspiracy stories and that kind. Or maybe it was true, you never know.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, by morning, that was happening. By evening, we had already video called. We had said, I love you. I'm telling you.
Were you doing it just to win the dare at this point?
No, he was really hot.
No, you.
No, he was actually handsome.
Okay.
you know, and then he was like, I'm coming for my brother's birthday. We should link up. I was like, tots. He came for his brother's birthday. And let me tell you,
Did you ask
you're
him
not gonna,
about
you're not
the
gonna
other girl?
believe, no? Why would I do that now?
Okay.
Why would I go ahead and be so dang stupid? Let me tell you, here's the thing, advice to the ladies.
Yeah.
You don't acknowledge.
PSA. Oh, turn the camera.
No.
Public service announcement.
Advice to the ladies, you know, you don't ever go like telling a guy, ati who is Jacinta, who is that, you know? Or especially, okay, no, I realized actually I'm addressing the wrong audience because this is advice to the side chicks.
Oh.
Because, you know, yeah, and I don't want the wives to come and beat me. But if in case the wives are curious, this is how it is. As if I was to be a side chick, right? I wouldn't go to them. Oh, I already know he's married, you know? So I wouldn't go to him and start telling him, oh, your wife, what about your wife? No, I know the wife is there. When he's with me, I want him to forget that he's even married. So you don't talk about the wife ever. You don't. You don't talk about the wife ever. Whatever decisions he will be making with the wife, he's going to make them by himself, you know? So...
Do you feel any guilt about
what? I almost said the full name. Huh? About the lady.
No, about, yeah. Like,
feel any
how
guilt?
Would you feel if you were the main girl?
It's a fair world, man. Dude, he was also taken from me. You lose them the way you find them. This story is wild, let me tell you. He was taken from me by a girl with a big bundesh, you know. Respects though, like that girl really alikuwa amebeba. Like hata pia mimi niliona DP yake roho. Ha! The polygamist karibu nikufe. But it was it was bad. It was bad. Let me tell you. Mtu wako akichukuliwa, hii inauma. It hurts. Really hurts.
But
I felt like my world has literally ended. Kwanza mine was worse than A. You know, A is just an engagement. Mine was a whole marriage. I have a whole kid. Remember, I ran away from home. So this is my only home. Now I have to divorce this man. Yeah, but like I said...
You guys went to church and everything? Ama uko kwa,
no. We didn't go to church. It was traditional.
Ah, okay. Oh. They came to your place?
Yeah.
You went through the whole shebang?
Dude, I was a good girl. I didn't lose my virginity until marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, for real. Like,
no,
why are you looking at me like that? No, yeah, like it was, yeah. Okay, so this is another thing. I have to say this. This is another thing. The one thing that actually made me, when our relationship stopped working, I don't want to use the T word, the toxic word, you know. When our relationship, you know, had started having these irreconcilable differences, and it was clear that we had to leave each other, the one thing that really broke me, you know, besides that this is the only family I have, was the idea that I was going to become a single mother.
Oh.
Because for me, I had already written my life, and my life did not include single motherhood in any place.
Repeat that. You had written your life.
I had written my life in my head, you know.
Really?
Yes.
Since when?
How my life, like, I think I've always been writing my life since like I was 12, you know. Actually, when I was 12, I wrote my first autobiography. Then I burnt it.
Tell me more about this idea of writing your life.
I think when
Is this why you were so
when
restless?
you don't have a lot of control as a child, you start looking for ways to control your life in other ways. Some kids have like pretend world where they get an imaginary friend. Some kids, you'll see some kids bullying other kids. They're trying to control other kids because they lack control in their own spaces, you know, in home. Or sometimes they become writers, you know, trying to control the narrative on paper, or they become spacey. They're just hallucinators all the time. They're fantasizers, you know. And I was like almost like all of them, actually. I was like all of them, you know. I never really had an imaginary friend, you know, but I was a fantasizer, I was a writer, I was everything, because my physical life had zero control, and I needed to feel like I had control. So I've been writing and rewriting my life, writing and rewriting. So
is that when you started writing poetry when you were a kid?
I started writing poetry actually when I was so I started writing prose first. When I wrote my autobiography, you know, these are stories myself, you know, it's like an extended composition. So I started writing those stories when I was 12 years. I wrote my life.
Like when you say you write your life, are you writing the story of your
paper.
life? Or,
yes, the story.
I mean of your life since you were born up to this point?
Yes.
Or even the future?
No. When I wrote on paper, I was writing my life as of until I was 12 years.
Okay.
But in my head, there was another writing that was going, like how you would imagine your life is going to turn out, you know? I had not written anywhere that I was going to be a single mom, you know?
And you know, funny enough, this is something I saw with Professor Jordan Peterson. He has a program called, I think, self-authoring or something like that.
Yeah.
He's a psychologist. So one of the ways they help people is by actually giving them the task of writing their own autobiography.
Yes,
like
actually,
it helps you
it's like,
have more control.
It's like journaling in a way, which I always say like journal, so you can see the kind of idiocy, you know, you live through every day, the kind of stupid things, you know, you do every day. Because let me tell you, you never know how stupid it is until you write it down, you know. The fact that you're going back to that toxic ex, you know, you shouldn't be going back to. Write it down, then read it out loud. See how stupid it looks on paper. You're not going to do it again. You're not going to want to do it again. Right? You see, like I wrote Closure, right? Nowadays, when I read Closure, I cringe. I'm like, I can't believe I was simping this hard for a guy.
Do you cringe that we are reading it, the public?
No.
Okay.
Because that's not, okay, like, for me, it's like, it's a story. I know there are other people who are exactly there, you know? So when they read it, because they can't write the story themselves, when they read mine, they cringe and then they realize they see themselves in that, and then probably it helps somebody, you know? So for me, I don't cringe that other people are doing that, but me, I cringe, I'm like, you know? Like,
that means you've healed. Like you've moved on, basically. Like you're different, maybe.
Launched that ship.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, where were we?
You're saying that you had already authored, you had already written your life.
Yes, I had
and this
written,
was not what you
so
envisioned
here's the
for
thing.
yourself.
When I was in high school, I already knew that I was going to lose my virginity in marriage. All the boys that tried to katiami, I mean, I got my first kiss when I was 16, but because I believed that you must have your first kiss at 16. It's bad luck not to have your first kiss at 16. That's what I believed. I'm not advising any kids out there, you know, but I'm just saying that's what I believed. I felt like it's a kind of, when you get your first kiss at 16, you're going to have a beautiful romantic life, you know.
You got this from movies?
From a book, actually, that I was reading that said your first kiss has to be at 16. And then I was like, I wasn't watching a lot when I was in high school. I love to read. Anyway, so at 16, I got my first kiss, and then, and then I waited for marriage. And that boyfriend, the one that gave me my first kiss, he was older than me, and he was like in his 20s, which now I'm realizing, ulini groom, sindio? Oh yeah, I can feel bad for my 16-year-old self. But you know, the thing is, the society you grow up in, right? I grew up in a society where like most of my aunties got married in their 20s, like in their young 20s, early 20s. You know, my grandma, she got married like when she was 12, you know?
12.
I think 12 or whatever, not really 12, maybe like 13, 15 there, but she was definitely not 18. You know, so, and then it was normalized.
Yeah.
And then I also grew up in Coast where you only, you know, most people,
you grew up in Coast?
Yeah, I grew up in Coast. So where like most girls, they wanasomanga ile tu basic education naenda kaolewe. You know, even with the way you are brought up as a girl, you're brought up for marriage. Kama ujui kufagia, sasa wewe hivyo unavyoinama hivyo, kwa mume utaenda kuinama hivyo? You know, like, you know, in the Coast, like, there's just a lot. Even when you're kids and they see you with a small boy kid, they tell you, mwapendana. Naona mtakuja kuoana nyinyi. Even like when mothers meet other mothers and you're carrying a boy, I'm carrying a girl, they're like, watakuja waone hao, waone sijui nini. So it's always marriage, you know.
So when you ran away, you ran away from the Coast all the way to Kitwe?
No, from Nairobi.
Oh.
Yeah, so later I moved to Nairobi to my other guardians.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Throughout my life, there was a lot of moving. I had so many. I had my grandma, then I had the ones in the Coast, and then the ones in Nairobi. And they didn't like each other. And I had to like travel here and here. So I had to learn these people and learn these people so that nikiwa kuna behave differently, nikiwa kuna behave differently, nikiwa kwa shishangu na behave differently. I think that's where like my bipolar self came out. You know, I just learned how to just quickly, you
Adapt.
know, yeah. Mostly mirroring, you know.
Oh, like, you know.
Yeah,
oh,
like,
yeah. You know how to act, how to like to be an actress.
Well, you
life.
have to, so you can survive, you know. Because I remember like my auntie in Mombasa, she liked to peel her tomatoes, you know. And the other one didn't like to peel hers. She liked to her tomatoes cubed. So one day I forgot and went over there and cubed them. Ooh, my auntie didn't eat. She didn't eat. She was like, hapa si kama kwa watu wa Makochini, something like they didn't like each other at all. So I had to learn, like when I go here, I'm pretending that I'm all for her, you know. Hadi tunasengenya huyo mwingine. You know, she's like, "Eh, wewe yojifanya, ni ukweli wewe yojifanya." Then when I go to the other one, you know, I have to now be her friend. She's like, "That's your auntie, she's so illiterate." And I'm like, "It's true, man. It's true." You know, so I have to be on both sides.
No, this I know this was like a coping mechanism, but you know, I was seeing somewhere like if you want to be something in your life and you don't yet feel the, what do you call it, the confidence that you can be that person.
Yeah.
One good way to do it is by playing a persona.
Yeah.
So like, let's say I want to be like Ngogi wa Thiong'o. So I'm like, no, I'm not Ngogi wa Thiong'o. But I can imagine myself, like let's say I'm going on a platform to speak, and then I'm like, what would Ngogi wa Thiong'o say? And then I get into the Ngogi wa Thiong'o zone.
Yeah.
So I am playing him, and in the process of doing that, I become
it, like an alchemist.
Yes. So I'm saying like, this was probably life giving you lemons.
Yeah.
But you can see actually, it's part of what has helped you.
I'm telling you, a lot, you know, when I tell my story, sometimes I feel like people think my story is so sad and stuff. But when I'm telling my story, for me, it's like, maybe there's a lot of shadow work to do. Maybe there's a lot of therapy to do. But I always feel like it's interesting because these things later came to be my strongest suits later in life.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like when I moved from Jengo to Aviation, someone would wonder, that's a big shift right there. But when I was in Jengo, I was like, Kina Simon, those mafundi, I mingled with them easily like that because I'm so used to, if I go here, I have to change. If I go there, I have to change. So I'm very flexible in that manner. And when I got into Aviation, let me tell you, if you saw how I was catwalking in my little kitten heels and stuff, you would not have imagined that this girl was in Jengo.
And then you came into the writing
And
world.
I came into the writing and
now you are at Amka, then you're an editor with Ikitabu.
Yes. And let me tell you, I am not fixed to one persona.
Yeah.
I am a lot of people. I am everything and I am also anything. You know, I'm not fixed to one image. This is what I came to later learn in life, you know. When I was in my marriage, actually I was fixed on one image. But when I left, it broke the ceiling for me. And then I realized, I saw my bigger self. I realized I'm actually not fixed to one thing, you know. I'm not fixed to one thing. I am not just a doctor. I'm not just a teacher. If today I wake up and I realize I can teach, you will see me at University of Nairobi. I'll be a lecturer. If I lecture students for like 3 years and realize, you know what, I've realized I can be something else, I'm going to go do that other thing. You know, I am flexible like that. If life demands this of me, that's what I will give. And actually that has been the secret to my success. Because in marriage, right, we were not actually like rich, you know, we were actually really, really poor. We used to live in the ghetto, you know. Mathare, Mombasa, for those who know. Mathare is a shanty place. Nyumba za mabati, nini, you know. So that's where we used to live. And I remember the first house that we lived in, it was a small single room, 4,000. And we used to split rent. You see how the kind of people you get, it's according to your level of experience. Because you see, the other girl, we used to split rent with her, right? So when this man that took me in and told me now we are married, told me that we need to split rent, I didn't see anything wrong with that, you know, For me, I was like, okay, it's fair. This is what happens like when people are grown up. And remember, I'd never lived alone, which is actually one of those experiences you don't want to miss in life as a woman. Please live alone. Live alone so you can know how to pay your electricity, how to pay bills, how to make money, how to balance money, how to do everything. First of all, it's good for you. It's good for the man. Because when that man finally comes and relieves you of these duties, you will be feeling more grateful than somebody that has never paid none of the bills before, right? Secondly, if this man ever started using this against you, telling you that, oh, you live in my house, I pay my bills, you can always remember that you've always paid your own bills anyway. So it's like a blade that cuts both sides. But it's a good experience overall. Please pay your bills. I think that was one of my problems. Like, I had never lived alone, paid my bills, so I didn't know what to expect, you know? So when he told me we need to be sharing bills, I was like, okay, cool. I went and got a job at his dad's shop. I was selling there. They were paying me like 200, 350 per day. Yeah, and then I would get some money, and then at the end of the month, I would give him my 2,000. He would pay the rent. We stayed there for like 2 months. And then we couldn't raise the money to pay for the house anymore. So we moved back into his parents' house. Yeah, and you know, that's where we stayed for a while. So we were not rich. I don't know, what was the point of this?
Go on.
No, what was the point? I was driving a point here. There was a point. So we, you know, when I was now in marriage, we were not rich. We were living in that place. I just had to adapt to that, you know. So, yeah.
This is when ulikuwa unauza uji?
Yes. So nilianza kuuza uji after we got our kid.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
This time you are living at the parents?
Yes. I was was I pregnant? No. It was after I had the baby. After I had the baby, diapers, you know, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember, I started cooking porridge in the house. I would like put it in the thermos, nikaanza kuuza hivyo. Yeah, and then I came and upgraded, nikaanza kuuza mchele during lunchtime. Actually, that mchele business was lucrative because I was earning like 800 per day. Yeah, on profits alone.
Damn.
Yeah, that was such an upgrade from the 150, the 250.
So you are making more money than him at this point?
He was like working as the cashier at the hotel, so he was earning actually like 400. But yes, I was actually earning a lot. But
you used to give him most of the money. Yeah?
No, during this time when we had the baby, right? He changed, you know. Yeah, he changed. We, you know, like I don't know what it was. Maybe it was like the postpartum depression. Do men get that? Do they? Yeah, like I remember after we brought the baby home, like 1 week or 2 weeks later, I noticed he had not shaved his hair, his beard. He was just like, you know, so exhausted.
Oh, he was depressed?
No, really. I don't know.
Like he was not taking care of himself?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, like we were living in a very tiny room. And it's me, him, and
was he going to work at this point?
Yeah, he was going to work at the hotel here. And you know, our bed was really, really small. So, and also the baby is new. None of us knows what to do, but his mom was there. She was helping a little bit. And then I was also very stressed myself because I was paranoid because I couldn't have sex because we just had a baby. And I was feeling like, you know, if I don't have sex with him, then he might be tempted to cheat on me. And in my story, I had decided that I wanted to be a sexy wife and a sexy mom, you know. Like I wanted to be the kind of wife that satisfies her husband, you know. So I was really, really worried about.
Where did you get this idea?
Well, from when I was growing up, when a woman got cheated on, the women would blame her. They'll be like, alijiachilia huyo. Kwanza alivyozaa yanuka maziwa, yanuka hata mtu ajui kumwangalia mmewe, sijui nini. I didn't want to become that woman. So when I couldn't have sex for those 2 months that I was healing, actually I had heard stories that was the time when cheating was like pro max, you know. most women get cheated on during that period when you can't have sex with your husband, according to the stories that I had heard. So I was very, very scared. Because I remember literally when we were coming back from the hospital with the baby, do you know, like I gave birth like today and then I slept. Following day when I was getting released, I was wearing a jean trouser, high belly, with a blouse written, "Kiss me," hapa nyuma, with my beautiful boobies all out, because you know, they're all big now, you know. I was still trying to seduce him. Literally, nimezaa jana.
Wow.
Yeah, because I couldn't, do you know, I had one dera that I went with it to give birth with. And I never bought another dera because deras are like unsexy. Those are mangoza wa mama. According to that time,
These guys.
Let me tell you, I am amazed, by the way. I'm really amazed.
This guy thinks deras are sexy. That's why he's laughing.
I'm amazed. Well, squeeze wameleta backless deras. If that time there were backless deras, I would have totally worn them, you know. But, you know, it was like this stereotype, like, kauleo squeeze unamwona tu na madera. You know, like, dera is such a low-class cloth for you to be wearing in front of your husband. That's why your husband is cheating on you, because why are you wearing deras inakuweka mastoking kwa kichwa? You know, like, you're so unsexy for your man. So even when I gave birth, I was trying to heal as fast as I can so that I can go back to like sexually satisfying my man and being, but because I couldn't sexually satisfy him, I would like wear these outfits that would just seduce him, which were actually really not good for me as a recovering mom. They were not. But anyway, so what happened is that during this healing period, that's when it kept going worse. It kept getting worse, you know. I told him, honey, go, like, get a haircut, you know. You're letting yourself go. So he goes and gets a haircut. He comes back after some time.
What do you think was wrong with him?
I don't know. If I knew, I would have fixed it.
Was he stressed? Like financially? Financially, now.
Yeah, financially,
providing
yes,
for the new child. And everything.
We were all scared financially. We were really all scared, you know, and I was trying my best not to be like a financial burden to him, actually, because we were eating kwa mamake, you know. So financially, yes, but also like the fear of like, oh my God, we got a baby. It's a real baby. It's here. Even I myself, I was scared. Because I was 20, was I? I was 21. I was 21 years old and he was 28. So I was more scared, actually, because, you know, let me tell you something. I was thinking, when I was writing my story, I had left out some details, or I just didn't have enough information. For some weird reason, I thought that having a baby is like, I have a baby and it's cute and tick that box and move forward. Until I realized, no, this baby is here to stay, like here. That reality started hitting me a week after we had the baby. Because, you know, with other babies, kakilia unapea mamake. Then it hits you that wewe ndio mamake. Kakilia ni wewe unapewa. So you don't even experience the cute side of the baby, because the baby is all night, all morning. So we were all very stressed. We were all dealing with different, realities were hitting us at the same time. And then it started hitting me that, oh my God, this baby is not going to stop growing. This baby is going to, like, it keeps progressing. This baby is going to grow. He's going to need school. He's going to need all of this. Where we don't have money. We don't have nothing. We used to literally live hand to mouth. That's how we lived. So there was a lot of financial stress, for real. So what happened is that I became very prayerful. I was always very prayerful in marriage, by the way. But this time I was deep into it. I used to do like wake up in the middle of the night to pray and pray. And he never woke up with me to pray. In fact, sometimes he would be acting like my praying is inamsumbua, you know.
You used to go to church?
Yeah. Every Sunday.
Which church did you go to?
Redeemed. Yeah.
Are you still religious today?
No, not really. Spiritual.
What changed? What changed?
A lot changed. Anyway, listen to the story. So we, and then I would try to pray with him or try to talk to him. He would be like annoyed, by my spiritualism and stuff. But I didn't know any other way to control our situation except to turn to God, Then I remember this one time I woke up. at night. I prayed. After I was done praying, something told me, check his phone. Never do that. Never. You know, we used to share the same password. Like, I knew his password, he knew mine. We were very open with each other. I took his phone. I opened. In all of those years we had been married, I had never gone through his messages. I went on WhatsApp and I scrolled to exactly the chat because in some weird way, I knew exactly what to look for. I just scrolled. Hata ikuwa chat ya kwanza, I scrolled like the 5th chat. I clicked on it and there was a message. If I was not married, I would have married you. My life just literally fell, shattered. Like, I have never experienced such shock my whole life. My life crumbled beneath my feet. Because remember, I ran away from home. Most of my family members don't talk to me. They kind of cut me off. So he is my only family member. And it would have been better if I was reading this message when we were just dating. But I have a child now. What do I do? In fact, I wish the message just came like 12 months earlier, you know, without the child. Now I have a child. What do I do? What do I do? Because I know I cannot stay with a cheating man. I know I can't stay with him. But then again, if I leave, I become a single mom. And oh my God, that is wrong because my story was supposed to be perfect. My story was supposed to be, I get married, lose my virginity in marriage, create a baby with someone I love, which I did, and then raise this baby, you know, probably give this baby a sister, you know. I had even known that my first child was going to be a boy, and the second one was going to be a cute little girl, you know. And then we were going to grow old together. We were going to look for money together, get some into business, make some money, grow old together. That was how my life was going to be. What do you mean now? Like, what now do I do? What do I do? So I woke him up and I was like, what is this? He told me, that's none of your business. What are you doing going through my phone? I started, you know, he fell asleep, left me talk alone. So I got in bed and then I started crying in bed like, you know, kwa nguvu ndio asikie, I feel guilty. He woke up and he told me, oya, unyamaza mukalilie inje. Ooh, that's when I knew my husband is gone. Because like, if my pain doesn't hurt you, then what do we have? There's nothing. I knew he was gone. But I felt so betrayed. I feel so, it's not even betrayed actually. I feel like I would have forgiven him for cheating if he still loved me. You know, if I cried and he was regretful, if he said sorry, you know, if he said she means nothing to me, if he had said those things, I would have forgiven him. I actually would have, because for me, the perfect story was more important than anything. You know. Sometimes I even wonder whether we were actually in love or I was playing out that love, you know. He was like this character. Because even his physique was exactly perfect as to the kind of man I had envisioned I will get married to, you know. Looking like P-Square, the P-Square brother, mwenye ana dreadlocks, that kind of physique, you know. That's giving a little corporate, a little... Because my uncle was like that. So I thought like that would be a perfect man like for that story, the story I had in my head. Anyway, he didn't say none of those things, which if he had said, I would have totally believed it. I mean, like, I grew up around, you know, people who are cheating, you know, people, and all the time, all they needed to do was talk. And they would talk and then they would be forgiven and life would go on. So for me, I don't think the cheating was much of a big deal as the indifference. The indifference. He showed me that I don't give an F about how you're feeling. So hapo ndo nilirealize there's no point, this is over. Anyway, following day, dramatically nikachukua mtoto na nikasema naenda. Nikijua tu hakuna place naeza enda juu. Hakuna mahali najua, you know.
Do you have savings? Do you have savings at this point?
Do I have what? Savings?
Yeah.
No, I don't have a dime. I had not started selling uji at this time.
Oh.
Yeah. This was me still, actually the baby was 3 months old at this point.
Okay.
So this was me just like a few days through recovering after, the baby, Marvel was really big, so I needed to recover a lot. Anyway, I take the baby, nikamwekelea kwa mgongo, mi naenda. I was just creating drama to see kama sasa atashtuka. Aone, look at what you're losing, so he can try and bembeleza me and tell me this girl means nothing. I was still just trying to get acknowledged, I wasn't really gonna go anywhere, niende wapi. But then, instead of stopping me, he told his dad, mwambie akianza kwenda ache mtoto wangu hapo. That broke me. This kid that I pushed, that kid was 4.1 kgs na nilimzaa natural. Nilimpusha akanivunja hadi mgongo. Huyu ndo unaita wako. Hey, I was like, nope. I was breaking dishes, you know that song by Rihanna, breaking dishes. I'm breaking dishes up in here. Oh my, oh my. I ain't gonna stop until I see police lights. I'm gonna. You don't know that song?
Oh, it sounds like bringing sexy back, yeah?
I'm gonna slap a man.
I don't know that song, but so in a sound kama ile Timberland.
Yeah, so it was like breaking dishes kind of level, So he came, akatoka job, akakam. Hey, sasa amekam ku make sure nimeacha mtoto wake.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, mimi by the day, I'm gonna admit to the places zenye niliblanda, because I'm a writer and I have to tell the truth, So, blanda yangu number 1, when this angry buffalo of a guy came, na sisemi buffalo to in a derogatory manner, I mean like angry as a buffalo. Lazima nieleze stylistic devices mi nisikue sued. Anyway, when this angry man came, akaingia in a small room, what I did, nilifunga mlango. Ndio asitoke. I locked the door. Bolt ya juu na ya chini. I will walk you through my reasoning. I wanted to yell and shout and everything. I wanted us to fight, but I didn't want him to walk away, I wanted us to fight, not physically, like I wanted him to see how much he has hurt me, so that so he doesn't walk away, akae hapo aone venye ameni hurt, so that he can feel guilty and finally say it means nothing, apologize, so that we can move on. Yeah. So I locked the door and I was like, I'm taking the kid. He was like, you're not taking the kid. I was like, no, I'm taking the kid. So tuna argue. Then I was like, mistake number 2. Nikamwambia, you think you're such a man? Kwenda you're going to sleep around with women. You think you're such a man? Huh? You think you're such a man? Let me tell you, if you think you can be a cheat, I can be 10 times of a cheat more than you. I'm going to sleep with your dad, with your brother, with your... Before niseme uncle, wow. The slaps that rained on me. Let me tell you, the first slap venye ililanda, I thought he was kidding. Nilidhani ni prank. Because I can't believe, like ni kama mimi na wewe, sayo ni slap. I will not believe it, I thought he was kidding. He slapped me the second time, nikarealize aya, kumbe ni vita. Kwanza me the one slap, kama angenichapa hiyo moja, I would have forgiven him. Cause ningedhani it is a correctional, ni slap ya kuni correct, Cause even me when I was yelling those words, I was feeling like I was overstepping a line somewhere, So angenichapa hiyo moja, I think for me, my brain internalize like, this is a correction, ni slap ya kuni correct, I overstepped. He's a man, he reacted, Shida sasa ni alinieka ya pili, na ya 3, na ya 4. Then akaninyonga, akanigonganisha na ukuta, akanigonganisha mpaka I was not bleeding. He wanted to kill me. Kwanza I remember when he was busy bashing my head against the wall, I actually was happy. I was happy because Eric sikuwa nimerealize, but all along I had wanted to die. I was tired of the baby. I was not Marvel, if you're listening to this, not you, Baba. I was tired of the situation, I was feeling like I'm so young. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This man has cheated on me. I'm feeling so much pain. And before I had my baby, I was very suicidal. Ilikuwa nikifika mwisho tu na, I did some attempts, I'd try to kill myself in one way or the other, always unsuccessful, which made me very angry because why the hell will you not let me die, you know? But now after I had the baby, you see, when I saw that betrayal, my first thought was like, I swear to God, you know, like, what the hell is this? But now I can't kill myself because if I kill myself, this big bundesh lady is gonna be my son's stepmom, and she might not be a good mother, you know. So I had to stay alive. So when he was bashing my head, I was happy that he's gonna kill me. So I will die anyway, but it will not be my fault. So if my son ever akiteseka, it will not be my fault that I died, you know. So he was bashing me, akaniachilia. Kachukua jaga, karusha kwa ukuta, one piece ikaland kwa mtoto. Marvel was screaming. So I ran, nikashikilia mtoto. He opened the door and walked out and banged the door and walked out. We lay on the bed, me and the kid. Nilimtolea tu hivi nyonyo. He sucked me all night. I was just lying there in a pool of blood until morning. I woke up. I didn't even sleep. I was like sleeping, waking up, you know. I woke up like around 4. And I decided I was gonna be a good wife. Yeah. Like I wasn't losing my husband. It's like I'm not gonna lose my husband. I can't. I'm gonna be a good wife. So I woke up and nikafagia hizo mavitu zote za vita, all those broken things. I swept everything. Nikapanga our little room properly. I took his clothes, nikamkunjia vizuri, nikamwekea hapo. Because he didn't sleep home that night, you know. And it made me realize like losing my marriage would really, really hurt me so much. So I didn't want to lose my marriage. I was like, no, I'm going to be a good wife. So I was like, you know, what is cheating? What is cheating compared to having a whole family? Anyway, I woke up, did all of that. Nikaenda nikajipanguza mapua kwenye nilikuwa na damu, nikajipanguza. I erased any evidence of the fight. Then later, like around 6, he came, huffing and puffing, still mad. When he got in, I was like, hey, can I talk to you? He doesn't want to talk to me. I was like, please, let me talk to you. He turned around. He was like, what? I went down on my knees. I went down on my freaking knees and I held his legs and I cried. And I told him, my husband, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I went through your phone. Should not have done that. I'm so sorry I said all of those things. I actually meant it. I was sorry I had yelled those horrible things, you know. I felt like my yelling the horrible things was a bigger crime than him cheating, you know. I felt like I had lost urgency to the case because pia mimi nimefanya makosa, you know. So I just told him, I'm really, really sorry. I begged him. I was like, please forgive me. And then he said, it's okay, I've forgiven you. That, you know, I had good intentions. I had good intentions to like forgive and forget and move on. But I was thinking, after I begged him so earnestly to forgive me, he was also going to realize his mistakes and also tell me sorry. And then we'll both be sorry. And then we'll both like be sorry and we'll hug and kiss and then make love and remember that we love each other and we are more important to each other than anything. But this dude didn't even see his mistakes. He told me, I have forgiven you. Immediately the demon in my head was like, for what? For what? Anyway, I was like, okay, cool. And then after that, nikaanza kuuza uji sasa. Nikaanza kuuza mchele, saving up money, nikajoin chama, nini. First round of chama, I got 9,000. I moved us out of his father's house. Without his consent, he was refusing, nini. And then, you see, once, and I'm using this for lack of a better word, but once a dog has tasted chicken or eaten eggs, you just have to euthanize that dog. You know? Once a man has tasted beating you, he will want to do it again and again and again. Because throughout this year, I think this was like 2021, if I'm not wrong. Was it 2021? No, 2022. I don't remember. Throughout this year after he had beaten me, he was always small mistake. Nitakupiga, you know? He was always saying that. But I wouldn't provoke him to him beat me, but every small mistake, or if I try to argue with him a little bit, let's say he was telling me something and I didn't think, and I would try to express myself, be like, nitakupiga. He started now using that, and I would just back down. I saved up my money, moved us from his father's house.
When you say us, you mean you and him and the child? Or just...
me, him, and the child. So because he was always asking him, why do we still live in your parents' house? You tell me, because, I don't have money. So, nikaona nikilipa deposit na rent, at least he can pick up from there, So we moved into this house. He wouldn't pay rent. It was such a struggle. We moved into a smaller house, lower amount. It was in that house that he one day just woke up and told me, I fell asleep one day and I had a dream that he was cheating. I remember I woke up on a Sunday. The following day was on a Sunday. I was dreaming on Saturday night, right? So Sunday morning, I wake up and I ask him, I was like, honey, can we pretend we're not married, Let's pretend we're just friends. And tell me, friend to the other, Is there anything you regret about us? Like, what exactly would you want? He told me, let me tell you, to be honest with you, if I had the chance or the opportunity, I would leave you and this kid in this house and I would go and I'd never come back. And I was like, okay, cool. Because at this point, our marriage had gotten really, really bad, He was always threatening me. I was always just backing down. I was doing my own things in my own head. Like I was just locked up in my own head, trying to protect myself from him. And I still wanted our marriage. I still really, really wanted our marriage. But it felt like a force. Like that effortless love was not there anymore. So when he told me that, honestly, it just sealed everything for me. I just felt like, okay, it's like I have been suspecting this man doesn't love me anymore. So I was like, okay, cool. The following Monday, he left, akaenda Ushago, kuanzisha biashara ya kuku, and left us in Mombasa. And I was in that house paying rent alone, doing everything alone, and I have the baby. I did that now I lived alone. That was the first time I lived alone. I lived alone with the baby for 3 months. And in those 3 months, it was a struggle, a big struggle. But guess what? I did them. And that gave me strength. It made me realize, naweza ishi peke yangu. I can live alone. I had never lived alone my whole life. Those 3 months made me realize I can live alone. The flexibility. If I have to work until 9, I can work until 9 without somebody asking me like, umetoka wapi saa hii saa tatu, So when he was not around, I governed myself and I realized I can do it. And actually I was more peaceful. Yes, it was hard economically. It was hard like physically. All the extra work I had to do. But mentally, I was, hakuna kitu ya maana kama mental clarity and peace, Naweza kuwa ninakuja naanguka nimechoka mgongo, but kwa akili sina stress. I was not stressed. Nobody was stressing me in my head. So that's when I saved the money to leave my marriage. So while he was there, yada, dad-in-law was also trying to find ways to hold me there. But nikakuja nikapata chama yangu. Vile nilipata chama yangu, magari za Kitui. Nikaenda kwetu. Because according to the way I grew up, when you're living your marriage, you don't leave and go to town. You leave first, uende nyumbani, ni kama amekurudisha. And then utoke nyumbani, ndio uende kwenye unaenda.
Unajipeleka nyumbani?
Yeah, so mimi nilijipeleka nyumbani, ni kama najirudisha. So that I can nitoke kwetu sasa as a daughter. So that even if tukikutana town tena, if he wants me again, he has to go back home kwenye nilitoka, Yeah, so I went home. Nikakaa nyumbani, my grandma was like, ngojea hapa wiki moja, uone kama they will come and...
You went back with the kid? Went with the kid?
Yes, went with the kid. Uone kama they will come and negotiate, watakuja waongee. So I stayed there. After kitu 1 week, the second week, they said anakujia familia yake. I was still really hopeful actually.
Really?
Yes. I was thinking if he comes and then we sit down with the elders and we talk about our issues, it's going to change. And then we can go home and build our family. Listen, Mimi, I understand the polygamists. And I understand Joyce and Jonasi. Like, I actually understand those people. You have no idea. When a woman is determined to keep her marriage, She will do anything and everything. I think that's why the Bible says, like, a foolish woman tears her house with her own hands, you know? Because when a woman is determined, she will go through anything and everything. She'll go through it all. She will swallow it all just to build that family for herself, you know? So when he said he was coming, I waited. They came. He was super high. He was so high, man. Alikuwa amechoma vibaya. Like, macho ziko red. So we're sitting there. Mimi niko hapo with real issues. Yeah, my issues zake ni vitu hata hazina miguu. Like, you know, tukakesi hadi jioni. My grandma aliniita tu kando akaniambia, skiza, you know, this your man hata kuna kesi yako nayo hapa. Like, literally, he has nothing to say. Unaongelelea story na cheating, the way he has neglected you, is not giving you any money for upkeep for the baby, akulishi, akufanyii. Yeye anateta kuhusu ati nowadays you don't warm water for him akienda kuoga. Like, you know. Anyway, so my grandma told me, but sasa Betty, unaona situation hapa kwetu. Mimi I can't take care of you or this kid. We rudi tu umvumilie, you know. Ya rudi umvumilie ndio, cause hapa ukikaa hapa, what's your life gonna be like? And she had, hiyo 1 week tulikuwa tumekaa hapo na mtoto tulikuwa tumeteseka, by the way, you know. Cause the kid is still young, anahitaji some special meals. Nyumbani kwetu it's kitui ndani na huko kwanza ilikuwa msimu wa ile ukame, you know. There's no food. Hata hiyo mahindi kidogo ya kukula hakuna. So I was like, yeah, makes sense. Na ametoka like the parts of Kitui zenye at least wako na chakula. So I knew my kid will never starve on those other sides. So me and my husband back tukarudi kwenye ndoa. Yeah. But I had one condition before he left our home. I told him, because I was using a kabambe, I told him, condition yangu ni moja, you're going to give me a smartphone and you're going to allow me to work. Like nipate job sasa proper, you know. You know, like mali neza ajiriwa. And you'll support me with that. He said, I promise I will do that. He gave me his smartphone. Alinitolea tu SIM card hapo hivyo akariboot simu na akanipea. I was like, perfect. So through that phone, that's when nilikuja nikakama across a link ya Generations Kenya. They were doing digital customer care. Nikaingia, I did the classes, actually got the certificate. And then, you see, the good thing with Generations Kenya is that wanakulink up to jobs zikitokea. So during that time nikingojea jobs za Generations zitoke, I was also looking for a job. Nikakuja nikapata job. Remember this time tuko ushago kwao. We are no longer living in Mombasa. He had said amechoka na Mombasa. This is after COVID. So anyway, so while I was there, nikapata job in a store in Kitui town. So I told him, si ubaki na mtoto, I go do this job for like a month. Nikilipwa, nitatafuta kanyumba huko. So it's not very far Kitui town and this place. So I was like, you'll be commuting, unakuja unatuona hivyo, like, you know. So he was like, nope, I'm not staying with the kid. Nikamwambia sana sina place ya kukaa. Kaniambia, you'll figure it out, you just go with the baby. I'm supporting you. So his way of supporting me was allowing me to go to the job. It was not ati nikushikie mtoto uende ukafanye kazi. No, it's like, I'm allowing you, go with the kid. So me and the kid, we went. I had a friend. My friend hosted me for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Monday, I looked for another friend. Tukaenda, we were like sleeping on the floor. Ilianza uko bottom. But this friend, hey, after 1 week, I think aliona hiyo burden iko juu sana. She came and told me, my boyfriend said, we can't live like this. Haezi hata kuja hapa kwa nyumba, kuna mtoto, you know, all of that. So she told me, nimekupatia 2 days, you find your own place. So that was the end of the tunnel for me. Not the end of the tunnel, it was the end of the road for me. Because if I don't have a place to sleep in Kitui and I have a kid and I'm doing this job, then literally I can't be in this job. So I have to go back. So I remember there was this guy friend of mine. I called him and we had actually never met. We were like online friends. You see how at this point in my life, most of my friends were online. That's because like when I was growing up, I wasn't really allowed to like play outside. So I never got to have any friends. So when I got my phone, I got most of my friends from Facebook, you know. People were DMing me. So we would create relationships there and I would get friends from there. So most of these people, I'd never met them. So this guy friend of mine, I remember calling him and I was like, Aki, sije kuitisha pesa before, you know. Unaweza nikopesha just 1,000. I just need fare to go back home. Cause life hapa, you know. But I had been telling him like, sometimes we would confide in each other. I would tell him like what's happening with my life. He told me, nipatie mpaka like later in the day I will let you know. He called me later and told me, "Wa, Betty, enye God is with you. Somebody mwenye nilikuwa nimekopesha 15k kitambo. Na hata nilisawingi hiyo pesa, imagine amenirudishia leo. Na because sikuwa nimebudget hiyo pesa hata nilikuwa nishamwachia. I'm going to send you all of the money." That guy sent me 15,000 and he even apologized. He told me, "I know it's not much." Not much? That 15,000 literally is what made this Betty Kilonzo that's sitting here.
Had you ever held that much money in
No,
your hands?
never. I had never held that much money in my life, first of all. Secondly, I went and got myself a house and every essential that I needed to start my life, including a mattress, na blanket, na hiyo 15k, na bado nika save 6,000. Wow, the good old days when taxation was not so high. But yeah, I was very resourceful with that money. And so I didn't go back to my husband. Now, I didn't tell him that I had gotten a house. I think at that time, some sort of self-love ilikuwa, ama self-value ilikuwa imeanza kudevelop in me. When I was working, I was juggling all these things. I started realizing the unfairness. How do you send me off with a kid? Hata he was not sending money. Hata hataki kujua chenye kinaendelea.
Where was he living at this point?
Nyumbani, you know. And he had these chickens that he was selling. And they were actually doing well because he was buying like mzinga za Red Label. Namuona hapo akikunywa. So I started feeling some anger, you know. Nilikuwa nimeanza, plus nilikuja nikasoma hii book ya Why Men Love Beaches. And let me tell you, that book changed my perspective. I realized I was being a doormat. So nilikuwa nimeanza kuingia na feminism. Ilikuwa imeanza kuniingia, you know. I was like, I don't deserve this. I deserve better. So when I moved into this house, I didn't tell him. I had started to become scheming. I didn't tell him. We lived there with my son, nikakuja, and then like 3 months later, that's when this dude realized something has changed in me, you know. 3 months later, imagine. So when he realized, wow, it's been 3 months, msichana alienda Kitui, na she seems like she's doing well. You know, he was banking on the fact that I was gonna, you know, give up in the first month, you know. Then 3 months later, I'm still not giving up. So I think it dawned on him, wait a minute, I think this girl is like gone. Now by the time in our hit, I'm gone, me, I had already mentally divorced him like 2 months ago. Nilikuwa naishi the single life, you know. I had realized I can do it. I can pay my bills for 2 months, 3 months, you know. And I had realized that this is better than living with that man. And once I've tasted this, I'm not going to go back there again. So when he called me, he told me that, I want you to quit your job and come back home. Sina mtu wa kunifulia manguo, kunipikia, hii place inani stress, nini. The little feminist that was just starting to crawl, my feminism was in the crawling stage. In me, screamed like, what the actual hell? You want me to leave my job so I can come home and cook for you and clean for you and wash? Kwanza hata ile time akiniachilia ndio niende job, aliniambianga mwanzo niache nimeosha manguo zake zote ndio ndio asikuwa hana manguo safi. And that is what I did. I washed all of his clothes, nikaanika huko kwote, ndio nikaachiliwa, sasa nikaenda. So now he's trying to take me back there ati niende nikaoshe vyombo. I told him, nope, I'm not coming. Tukakaka 2 days later, he called me again and he was like, if you don't come by end of this week, I am going to divorce you. I laughed. I was like, newsflash, I divorced you a long time ago. He was like, I'm going to call your people. You've become so rude. I told him, actually, even my people know that I'm not with you. You're the only person that doesn't know you've been divorced. I had divorced you kitambo, my friend. It's over between us. And I thank God we didn't have any documents to sign because, you know, I was like, hey, dude, yako iliisha kitambo. He tried taking the baby away from me, took the baby for 1 month, akamrudisha, because it's not so easy to bring up a child.
So he came to your place and took the baby?
Actually, he made me nimpeane na gari.
Oh. So this time you didn't need to go back home, you know, according to the tradition?
No.
But you told me that.
Because for me, I counted it as, you know, like that one time I went, even though walinichukua, mi nilikuwa najua napitia kwao nikienda. Yeah. So, plus, I also realized tradition wasn't helping me. You know?
Because they would tell you to go back.
Every time I go to my grandma, she's going to tell me to go vumilia. So I was like, to hell with tradition. I actually didn't even tell anybody, you know, when sasa venye nilimwambia we have divorced, that's when they went yelling all over the place that way. Kametoka kwa ndoa. You know, me at that time I had already made peace with the fact that I'll be a single mom. I had started to rewrite my story in another way, you know. But the funny thing is that when I was leaving that marriage, I was like, I'm gonna get. So do you know what actually shifted in my head that made me realize that I wanna leave and I'm gonna leave? In those 3 months that I was alone, I realized I was such a good wife. You know, the way I was cleaning my house, the way I was so determined to clean my house, to keep my space so tidy, the cooking, nilikuwa nakula food yangu na realize food yangu ni tamu, you know? And the way I was taking care of the baby, I realized I was such a good wife, such a good partner. And I was also thinking, I wasn't even realizing in the manner of nilikuwa namfanyia hizi vitu. I was just doing these things for myself. I was giving this service to myself and realizing how good I feel when I do these things for myself. You know, when I was in marriage, even when I was cleaning the house, I was cleaning for my husband. So that akikuja, he's like, oh my God, the house looks so pretty, you know? And I feel good. I feel good and validated from his satisfaction. When I cooked food, actually sikuwa nakula until akuja, hata akikuja saa ngapi. Hiyo time amekuja ndo tutakula pamoja. I wouldn't serve you know, the food, the flavors, because I was busy looking at his reactions like, do you like the food? Do you like the food? So I existed for my husband. Everything, even the way I was dressing so my husband can approve it. But when I started living alone, when I was cooking the food, nikikula, nilikuwa nasikia taste. Nikitoka job, nikikuja jioni, napata venye niliacha nimepanga nyumba, I feel happy. I am now appreciating the things I'm doing for myself. And I realized, dang, I love me. I like me. Look at me. Like, I'm amazing. Like, this is amazing. And then, you know, after now that realization, I realized, oh my God, anybody would want to have me. Any guy would want. So it made me realize, kupata bwana hata itakuwa ngumu. Nitatoka tu hapa and I'll still get my story, but I'll get it with another man. So when I realized that I'm going to get married again, that was it for me. It was easy for me to leave because I realized I'm not the problem is the man. Maybe it was also like a bad way of looking at it. Maybe it was like maybe to blame nobody or blame everybody. But for me, that was what helped me move forward, you know. I realized that he's the one who's not been a team player in this marriage. Me, I want to be a team player. I have been playing my part. He's not playing his part. So the problem is not me in this setting. The problem is him not playing his part. So I'm just going to go get another man that wants to play the part. And for me, that was how I actually made peace with the divorce in my head. Yeah. And then he took the kid for 1 month, akamrudisha.
I wanted to ask, what were you doing with the baby? Your time ulikuwa unaenda job?
Daycare. Kulikuwa na daycare fulani hapo ka 3K. So uzuri, they would like take care of the baby. I will pay end month. You know, I would pay by the end of the month. So that was also, so in this time yenye alikuwa amechukua mtoto, that's the time I did mjengo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was the time I did mjengo, which by the mjengo was such an upgrade from the job I was doing.
Financial?
So, yes, the job I was doing,
how much
it was
were
in a store. They were paying me 6,000.
Per day?
No.
Per week?
Per month.
Mjengo?
No, the other job, the store job.
Oh, okay.
So when I left that job, when I went to the mjengo nilikuwa nalipwa 500 per day.
Yeah, that's
a big upgrade, right? So hata hiyo time tulikuwa tumeshaanza kuishi.
Na mlikuwa mnafanya how many days a week?
All days, hadi Sundays. So ni unachagua kama unataka kwenda Sunday.
So that would be something like 15K.
Nilikuwa kwanza hiyo time ati nataka kukujia mtoto.
So ile 15K ulipewa?
Yes.
So sasa umeanza kuipata monthly.
Yes, monthly. Yeah.
You see how you are rising from
Yes.
From 4,000
to 6,000 to now 15,000, yes. So when I was there, nikiwa mjengo, nilikuwa na print CV yangu. Kitui town, I don't think kuna ofisi haina CV ya Betty Kilonzo.
Ulikuwa unaizungusha huko? Kila
mahali. I would print like 4 CVs, 4 folders, not folders, the envelopes. 4 envelopes per day. Every day tunaenda hotels. I even went to the radio station. Yeah. Nikaenda kwa
walikupea test?
Hapana, niliwaambia I was applying for secretarial because I didn't have anything, I could offer. I didn't have my communication. Like, sana nawaambia niingie on set nifanye nini. Like I was telling them, hata ni kama ni wako serve chai, I can serve tea. I was just looking for better opportunities. I applied everywhere. Hadi Kadhi, inaitwa Kadhi Water, that one. Nilipeleka hadi huko pia. Kila mahali. Heritage, hotel, kuna hiyo San Marino. Kwanza San Marino. Shout out to San Marino. Let me tell you, see some of those hotels, they have very bad staff. Like you see San Marino, the staff was really good. There was this pretty lady at the reception.
That's in Kitui.
Yeah, in Kitui. There was this really, really pretty lady at the reception that I looked at. I was so envious. I was like, damn, how does a girl get this beautiful, Alikuwa like anaweza snob hata CV yangu. But do you know she didn't snob it? She actually went through it with me. Akaniambia, she even told me about the manager and how to approach the manager if I was ever called and stuff like that. Na akaniambia nitampatia. And she really encouraged me. And I left that place feeling like so strong in my heart, Even though step at opportunity, just that listening ear, it really meant a lot. In that journey of applying for jobs everywhere. There was another hotel that I'm not going to mention the name, that niliwapea na nikiturn tu hivi nilimuona. I just saw from the corner of my eye akitupa nini yangu kwa bin. But I didn't, me square heartbroken. I was applying everywhere and anywhere. And bado nafanya mjengo, So it was in that process of applying anywhere and everywhere that I got Aviation. So what happened is, after mjengo ilikuja site ikaisha. After mjengo kuisha, this lady friend that I knew, akaniuliza kama naweza fanya merchandising. Ile supermarket, mnafanya promo. So they were looking for some merchandiser, but more of a sales girl, Naivas, Kitui town. So I got the position. That was my first job to work in that had a uniform. I was so happy to wear the uniform. I was marketing Downy. So I went there and I was standing there at the stores. So mtu akikuja, I would sell Downy to them. Hello, this is Downy. Remember my sales and marketing skills? They kicked in right there. So I was like, hello, so this is Downy, So they were paying us 1,000 per day. And we would do like three days a week.
So this is double what you were making before.
So this is three days a week. We were only doing this job 3 days a week. Okay. The remaining of the other days I used to
so it's still 15K.
No, I was still increasing because now I have some free days that I can do other things. So nilikuwa mama fua. I used to like go do laundry kwa manyumba za watu nini. So I was still keeping up. Keeping up the income.
I can even see the connection with why you even wrote Househelp Manual.
Yeah.
Because I really wondered at the point why this was so important to you.
Yeah, it is actually, and for me, I really like fairness because this is a very delicate job, So I know there are people who treat househelps unfairly. So I wanted househelps not to be treated that way. And I also know the frustrations of you are actually desperate, you want a job, but you don't even know how to do the job properly. Like some of the things mimi nilifunzwa in the houses that I was working in, that's when I learned that, there's the duvet and then there's the cover. There are more than 2 pillows, how you arrange them. Some of these things I was learning in people's houses, So I just thought if I wrote a manual that was easy to follow through, a house girl, maybe uko nyumbani you're not in a good space. You want to be a house girl, but you don't know how to do all of the house chores. Instead of going into a job incompetent, here's something that can guide you through it. If I had the Househelp Manual at that time, actually, I think it would have really, really helped me. Because, as a house girl also, you charge as per your area of expertise, how expert you are. Mtu akikuona ujui kazi sana, chances are atakuwa underpay. But if you are a professional, hata ukiuliza, an increase in salary, mtu atakupea tu. Because they don't want to lose you, you're a good house girl. Yeah. So that's what I was doing. Nilikuwa nafanya mama fua. On the other side, I'm doing this promotion. So during that promotion time, that's when a friend from long time ago, alikuja akaniambia, there's this aviation company yenye ina hire, that's hiring. Na wewe unapenda kizungu sana. Why don't you apply? So I applied the same way I was applying for these other jobs. I feel like it's connected because if I was not actively pursuing like better opportunities or applying, unajua hizi ni zile unashindanga umetumia links unaambiwa kuna hii job nimeona online so you apply. It was just like that. So I feel like if I was not in that space where I was actively pursuing these opportunities, I wouldn't have applied. I would have ignored it. But Mimi, I applied. I didn't even know how, hey, guys, I didn't even know how you're supposed to apply for aviation. I remember ile picha ya profile, the profile picture, mimi nilituma selfie. You know, like I took a selfie with my phone, best angle.
Is it still the phone he gave you?
No, which, sorry?
Your husband had given you a phone.
Yes, it was still that phone. Yeah, it was still that phone. That phone nilikaa nayo ilikuja hadi kuibiwa Nairobi after I came to Nairobi. Yeah, anyway. So it was a picture of the phone, but kitu yako ni kitu yako, man. Do you know the head of in-flight literally contacted me and told me, baby girl, that's not the right photo. We need a full photo when you look like this. So nikaenda nikagoogle the kind of photo they would like. I went for a photo shoot ya 100 kwa streets. Kumbe nao nataka nifanye professional photoshoot. Nilisikia professional photoshoot ni 1500. I was like 1500. Natoa pia pesa. I only had 100. Nilienda nikatafuta duka iko na ukuta ya white nikasimama hapo. Hata ikuwa edited, just took a photo of myself nikatuma. You know, but kitu yako ni kitu yako. They called me for an interview. Let me tell you, Eric, if that story would have ended at the interview, I would have still considered it a success story. For me, it was just the fact that somebody had looked at my papers. Remember, sikuenda uni. Somebody had looked at these Form 4 leavers papers and thought I was good enough to give me a listening ear. That to me was enough. And it's someone in an airport, nevertheless, you know. For me, that was enough. So that was the confidence and the gratitude that I went with to that interview. Mi hata sikuwa nimeenda kufight my case ati nipeni job. I was going to tell them, Aki, asanteni, thank you so much for thinking that I'm even capable of being put in the panel, like in front of a panel. And that's exactly what I said at the interview. When they were interviewing me, they asked me questions. Have you ever been in an aircraft? Me. That was the first time I had ever seen an aircraft on ground. Kwanza zilikuwa zinakaa kubwa. In fact, hata nikauliza HR, can I take a photo of me near the aircraft at least? Nikienda, cause mimi nilikuwa najua hii job siwezi ipata. Hiyo nilipata wasichana. First of all, I went with my bare face. Only lipstick and a little bit of eyeshadow. 2 braids tumechoka. You know, remember me nilikuwa nafanya mjengo like hustling, you know, all of that. Wasichana nilipata hapo, aki wasichana Nairobi anakuanga wameiva. My God. Yani msichana amesmokisha macho inakaa ni kama imechorwa na ruler. Yani you look at her, she looks like she's already a paid flight attendant for Emirates or something. As if they're not looking. I'm like, why are you even here? If I was looking like this, I wouldn't even look for a job. Clearly my life is going well if you look like this. Kwanza they were there, they thought mimi ni ule mama wa chai. I remember niliitwa mtu wa pili. I also remember while we were sitting there waiting, watu unajua mnaulizana maswali. So wakaulizana like, ulisoma aviation school gani? Mimi nilishangaa, kwani watu wanaendanga aviation school? Dunia school ndo nililearn about IASA na Pride. I had never known people go to aviation school. Well, nikuulize, venye ulikuwa unapewa zile, you know, career choices and stuff, did you ever see any course inaitwa flight attendant?
Ni kitambo, but I don't think so.
Exactly.
But ilikuwa.
Like most, trust you, me, I didn't see it. Let me tell you, most people, even you can ask people like on the comments, guys, tell me if you've ever known that actually, like, it's a lot of people that don't know that flight attendants go to actual schools, they study this job. Mimi sikuiona anything imeandikwa flight attendant, you know? So I was shocked. But the thing is, this company had said that they are going to train us. So me, I thought that training is all you need. Kumbe watu wameenda shule. Huyu anasema ni wa Pride, huyu anasema ni wa IASA, huyu ni wa Nairobi Aviation. Mimi ni wa Kitui kwa mjengo. Then this one girl akasema, walewe ukipata hii job sisi wote tutapata. Tulikuwa tukaribia 31. Udema kuingia, by the way. Never judge a book by its cover. Hey. She didn't get the opportunity.
Was she pretty?
Okay, not as pretty as the others. You know, like she was medium pretty. You know, she was good.
What were they looking for?
Hiyo sasa ni swali wao wanaweza jibu. I don't know, but
did you ever ask them what they saw in you?
What they saw in me? You know, let me tell you, once you get the job, Unadhani first of all that familiarity me and the board tutatoa wapi mpaka tuanze kuulizana vitu kama hizo? But my head of in-flight told me that she felt like I was very hardworking and like yeah.
Okay.
Like this is later.
That's it. She told you were hardworking.
Later, yeah.
She saw that in you during the interview.
Yeah.
So they asked you about your life and what you do.
Yeah, so my life came up, because when I was thanking them, I was just really thanking them for the opportunity. I told them like I had never been in an airport before, but then they asked me, oh, so you mean like the questions that were asked during the interview? So they asked me about, customer service, they gave me a scenario. If you are handling like a drunk passenger, what would you do? Hey, mi niliwaambianga cheki, mi unajua niliuza uji, nilikuwa nauzia walevi uji. Who make sure mlevi amekulipa 20 bob na bado endelee kukua customer wako. That's not a small thing. So I was like, you guys were asking me about drunk passengers on board of an aircraft. These are learned people that I can reason with. Mi nilikuwa nauzia njoro mwenye amekunywa from night till...
I love how everything you were doing
actually that
is
was
connected.
Actually, me, when they were asking me, I was answering them from my experience. I would actually told them I sold porridge to drunkards. And those drunkards were always my customers for the longest time. Wataninyima yo 20 bob, I will still get it and I will still be friends with them. So that's how I've learned my patience. That's how I've learned my customer care. That's how I've learned how to handle people. And I think that experience actually is what impressed them.
Can I ask you, at this point, were you Betty Kilonzo, the one we know today, who is very charismatic, who has this, a lot of energy, a lot of...
I think I was becoming.
Were you more calm or more humble? What kind of person were you?
More humble.
No, I mean, right today you are a bit...
No, as I grow...
You play the role.
Yes, as I grow, I get more confident in myself.
Okay.
I feel like I've always been myself, but it was a growth. It was growth, There was a time like I can't, like right now, I can't imagine I ever knelt down. Yeah, apologize.
You see, because of the Betty I know.
Yes,
and
I
the
was
Betty
very different.
You're telling me about.
Remember, I was really coming from this background with this family that literally made me believe I had no right in life. So I've been gaining my rights as I grow. Even to date, I'm still gaining some of the rights. Like it has only taken me like 2 years ago, 3 years ago to actually realize that I can withdraw consent in the middle of sex. As I grow older, I realize that, wait, that isn't right. So I keep deconstructing my brain every day. And the more I deconstruct my brain, the louder I become, the more argumentative I become, the more charismatic, like you're saying, I become, the ruder I become to people, because I realize that people have been walking all over me all the time. Like actually, it was this year that I got the grip of, acha kushinda unatumia watu pesa. Watu walipi pesa zako, they borrow money from you, they never return it. Stop being black taxed like that, Stand up for your rights. You can actually, unaweza jibizana na huyo uncle yako, like if he's wrong, unaweza mwambia, It was this year that I learned that. And it put me in a lot of trouble with my family and stuff. But I still stood my ground. I didn't feel like I've done anything wrong because I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. So as I grow older, I become more rooted in my truth. I find myself more and more and more and more and more. So, yeah. So becoming, I was in the becoming stage. Yeah. So at that time, I was grateful that these people have given me this opportunity. So when they were asking me these questions, I was answering them as honestly as possible with the background that I had. I told them, listen, I know those girls downstairs, wameenda Yasa, wameenda hizi shule zingine zote, but there's real experience out in the streets that you can never get in a classroom. You will never learn how to handle a drunkard in a classroom. Utafunzwa hiyo book knowledge, lakini ukiingia hiyo ndege, when you are in flight, that's when you will realize that it's not as easy. It's not as easy. Is the same experience you get working in a club. Huwezi ambia mtu na mdomo. Usai waitress haizi kuambia na mdomo what her job entails until you experience it firsthand. So I think that experience is actually what rooted my confidence, and I feel like that was what exuded of me during the interview, and it actually made them believe in me because I actually believed in myself. I knew sijasoma hizo vitabu mingi, nilikuwa najua sijasoma hizo classes, and not to say they're not important. I also reminded them, you guys are going to offer a 6 weeks training period, which actually turned out to be a whole year of training, tough year 2021. But I also told them, you're going to offer me this training and I'm actually a really fast learner, which I did not lie. I am very flexible like that. Put me in an environment, just give me a few days. Show me what to do. I'm going to do it. I'm really good at that. So I had faith in that. I had faith in my adaptability. I had confidence in my experience. And I knew how grateful I was for this opportunity. So I knew I was going to fight to my last breath to prove these people that I am worth this opportunity, you know? And they gave me the chance. They gave me the chance, which I was very grateful. So nikapeleka mtoto Ushago and I moved to Nairobi. I moved to Nairobi and that's how I joined Aviation, you know. So the whole of 2021, I didn't have a place to stay. Nilikuwa nakaa na marafiki. Leo nakaa na huyu nakaa na yule, kesho nakaa na yule, kesho kuto nakaa na yule. I'm going to make a statement at this point and say this. In 2021, I found myself in some very shitty situations because of my situation. And let me tell you, as a woman, not having money is a really bad thing. Hey, let me tell you, poverty is the enemy. I remember there was a time I was literally dating so I can have a place to sleep. Because you see, I have this roommate. Roommate akona chali yake, si ndio? Kila weekend napigwa exile. I used to go and sleep in the club. Naenda kwa club, najifanya niko mlevi, nalala hapo kwa lounge, najifanya nimezima. And then I wake up in the morning, nachukua bag yangu, naenda JKIA, naenda class. Nikifika class, hizo chapo zenye tumepewa za breakfast, people will be like, "Na, mimi sikuli carbs." Mimi nilikuwa nachukua ile brown envelope. Kila mtu ananipea chapo yake. Hizo chapo ndo nitakula through the week.
So at this point you are not yet being paid?
No. It was unpaid training that took a whole freaking year. Let me tell you, if there was ever a time I've been tested my patience, it was 2021.
So at this point you are even missing working kwa mjengo because you were getting money.
I can't work anywhere. First of all, I can't work anywhere because I have to go to those classes.
The class is the whole day.
Class is from saa 8 tulikuwa tunatoka huko sijui saa 9:45 huko.
From saa 8?
From saa 2.
Okay.
So class will start like saa 2. 3:45 huko ndio tunatoka class.
You were not able to find a job kajioni.
So what happened? First of all, tulikuwa tumeambiwa like when you're working for this company you cannot work for another company. You know those policies. Mimi I had never been in corporate world before. So I didn't know like kama hata naweza disobey.
But at this point you are not working.
But I'm training with them like I was under Jetways. I didn't want them to think ati nimepata job ingine place ingine or something. Like you don't understand. Money.
I'm asking, how did they expect you to survive? The people to survive.
I don't know, but most of those people when walikuwa wamekuja Aviation, they were coming from really good families. Actually, there were even like these 4 girls that were shepherd driven every morning. Most of the girls walikuwa wanatumia Uber wakienda home, you know.
What?
Yeah, so to be honest, actually in that whole group I was the only person that you know.
So you were the only person who was struggling. Ama they do that because they want a certain type of person.
I don't know actually. But yeah, that story later inakujanga in a twist in a way, but let's focus here.
All right.
So after a few months of trying to survive bila job, nikienda nika realize, you know, they said 6 weeks. 6 weeks zikaisha. Hawa watu bado they are not paying us. We still going for these trainings. Mwanzo tunakaa long periods bila kwenda job. This time, so after nimeona 6 weeks zimeisha, you know, I'm really struggling, you know, I'm really struggling financially, kupata hata fare. So nilikuwa na survive na kuombaomba watu pesa. Kwa naombaomba watu fare, na kopa, na fuliza. Mimi natala, let me tell you. Thank you God. Mimi nilikuwa hapo tala, face recognition, check your head to the left, to the up, to the down.
Limit yako ilikuwa donga?
1,500 yenye nilishindwa na kulipa wakaanza kuniongezea manini pesa zingine juu nilikuwa stressed kama hell. Hey, at some point karibu hata nianze kuscam wazungu online. But they never judge people. That's why me I can't sijui kama naweza advise anybody, you know. Because let me tell you, you don't know until you know. You don't know until you know.
Yeah.
So that time, first of all, so nikakuja nika-realize I can get a job as a part-time salonist majioni. So I got this salon. Because hata pia kupata mtu mwenye utakuwa unaendanga jioni, it's hard, you know. So nikapata this salon, I started nikalearn kuweka nails, nikalearn kushuka. I remember hata nilienda hapo kushuka and then that lady was like, alikuwa anateta msichana wake wa kummalizia braids amemtoroka nini. So I was like, I can do it. I couldn't do it, but I learned, nikalearn kushuka, nikalearn hadi kunyoa na kinyozi, kuweka fade na kushikisha hivi, unamweka cut ya white, you know. And then kuweka nails. I remember my first clients. Nowadays naonanga vile naekangwa nails niko zile za my clients suffered. Nilikuwa naweka ma nails vibaya, but that was what I knew at that time, but I got better later. Yeah, so I worked at that salon, at least ilikuwa inanipea fair, you know. Bado chapo za ofisi zinani keep through.
Now where are you sleeping at this point?
So different friends, nakaka na huyu after 1 month 2 months anyway Nairobi we jipange, natoka naenda natafuta mwingine. So I was always
still friends from online?
Yes, online. Kwanza my first one was a classmate from high school. My second one was a friend to a classmate from high school. Alinishikanisha na beshte yake, so it was a whole stranger that I didn't know, you know. Na tulikuwa ka single room pale Pipeline na tunakaa wasichana 3 hapo ndani. Ilikuwa inalipwa 3k, tunachanga kila mtu 1000. Na kuchanga hiyo 1000 ilikuwa ngumu. It wasn't easy, you know. So yeah, so and then from there I went and lived with one of the girls from the training. She was a Muslim. Nikaenda nikaishi Isli for 3 months. I turned into a Muslim. Kwanza nakumbuka hiyo month nikienda ilikuwa month ya Ramadhan. Wallahi nilifunga. Nikajua kufanya dua. I used to wear dera, nilikuwa na jistiri. I turned into a Muslim.
Mirror, yeah? The mirroring.
I have to mirror because I'm living in a predominantly Somali house. So I can't bring my Christian behaviors there.
You're living with her family?
Yes.
Oh, her family?
Yeah, there were 9 of them in a 2-bedroom house.
Did they believe that umekuwa Muslim ama it was just, you know?
No, okay, I wasn't telling them ati nimekuwa Muslim, but I was doing their thing so that we can all blend together.
Even dressing?
Yes. I was wearing the deras. Hadi nilikuwa na buibui. They even gave me a buibui. When they woke up at like saa 10 kwenda prayers, I used to wake up, naenda prayers. Karibu nikufe hiyo Ramadhan lakini it made me spiritually stronger. And it actually, like living with those people for 3 months actually made me respect Islam so much. You know, Islam has just these values, you know. I know it's not all of them, but there are these beautiful values in Islam. For example, this lady taught me that tomorrow is not guaranteed. You need to enjoy today. Because nakumbuka msichana ulikuwa unapata kona 500 peke yake. Ataenda Kilimanjaro na hiyo 500. Aitishe food ya 2,500 and then we are eating and we don't know where the 2,000 will come from. She'll be like, don't worry, it will get paid. And by the end of that meal, hey, lo and behold, atakuwa na hiyo pesa. Atakuwa na hiyo pesa na kwanza na fare ya kurudi home.
Was that something you had before you met them? Ama she taught you?
She taught me like that kind of audacious faith. For me, I believed faith was in desperation.
Yeah.
Like I have to be truly, truly suffering to activate my faith. But her faith was in abundance. Like and I believe hizi puma, najua ni 30k, nitazinunua. Nana do. She even bought an iPhone 11. Tukiwa training hata tulipwi like nana pesa and she's struggling na alikuwa anauza mabuyu. Unatoa pesa iPhone 11 na mabuyu wewe like by there her faith was so audacious. You know, me I thought like faith ni like Mungu niko karibu kufungiwa nyumba, Mungu anakuhurumia anakupea. I didn't know that God can also give you when you just want to flex. So I learned that and actually I usually use it to date.
How do you do it?
I have an iPhone 17, duh.
No, I mean like, you know, kuna watu wanasemanga,
no, if you want it, it's yours.
And stuff.
No, but, if you want it, you just, in your head, it clicks, I want it. Don't doubt yourself. You want it, you get it.
You know, so remember I had some notes up. I told you I wanted us to talk about alchemy and stuff. And unaona hata sijakuuliza maswali based on what I had written. But do you know everything I had written imetokea?
We are tuned,
For instance, I wrote a quote here. I wrote a quote from the book Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. So he writes, when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it.
Yeah, clock that. For real.
Alafu, umeona venye path yako imekuwa na mashida mingi.
Yeah.
I wrote another quote. If the path before you is clear, you are probably on someone else's. Carl Jung. So when you're on your right path, kutakuwa na a lot of challenges.
Turbulence.
All right, tuendelee.
Yeah, so she, you know, she taught me abundance. She taught me that I deserve good life, not just survival. For me, I had known like I will get out of survival. But she actually taught me relaxation, like you deserve good. Like, do you know, kama unataka wig ya 150,000, God cares about that. God cares about your wig. Like, it's not just about ati oh God, sijakula. No, God cares. Like me, I'm manifesting to go to South Africa. I want to go to Cape Town by the end of this year. And I know God cares about that. He does. He wants me to go to Cape Town. He wants me to go and experience those beautiful colored houses. He wants me to meet lovely people there, and their food is amazing. I've been watching YouTube tutorials, videos, on the food from in Cape Town. And I know God cares about that. God cares about my experiences. God wants me to go there. He wants me to, you know, he or she, God, they want me to go there and have this beautiful experience. I never used to think that. I used to think that, you know, God only cares about your survival. But this girl taught me different. God cares about you going to Kilimanjaro. Kama unataka kwenda Kilimanjaro, imagine God cares about that. He will provide. Atakuprovidea hiyo pesa Kilimanjaro. But sometimes we just manifest on the level of our survival. And that's why we never experience abundance. Because we are always just manifesting on the level of our survival.
Repeat that.
Yeah.
Repeat that, actually. Oh. That's for me.
Yes. Sometimes you manifest on the level of your survival. And that's why you don't experience abundance.
You know, that's something I've been thinking about. I was watching this podcast and they had there's this Mahindi who had this idea about the manifesting, the affirmations. I had never really thought about it. Where you're supposed to say, like, you say you want to go to Cape Town. Yeah. So you're supposed to like visualize it shall happen.
Yes.
And then I've been watching. And then you are like, I went to Cape Town. I saw this. Like you actually talk about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go actually. I already even know the kind of food that I wanna taste when I get there.
No, I'm saying he was saying you don't even say I will go. You say I have gone.
Yeah.
Like you actually assume it's already happened.
Yes.
I am in Cape Town. It is like this.
Yes.
It is like this. And then it was very powerful for me because I went and actually it is last week.
Also write it down.
Yes. I started trying to do that.
Yes.
And then I realized I've actually had a very like limited mindset. So where I make decisions not based on what I want to do, but what I think is available. So I'm already thinking of what can go wrong, of
Let me tell you, the universe is not on a budget.
Yeah.
Dream big. The universe is not on a budget, truly, for real. You're the one who is on a budget in your head. You're the one who thinks that you don't deserve that good shirt, that good shoe, that, you know. Let me tell you, when I was doing the merchandising thing at Naivas, right? Nilikuwa nasimama hapo on the aisle, and I used to see these ladies with these men, with their lovely husbands, wanafanya shopping na cart, a whole cart. Wamejaza shopping, and I would look at that na try kwa estimate kwa kichwa yangu hiyo shopping inaweza kuwa ni ya pesa ngapi, you know. Mimi the only shopping I can afford there maybe kakitu kamoja tu ili niekeo kwa kahuru bag niende home, you know. And I used to wonder what trajectory did these ladies take in life, or what path did they take in life for them to land this life where they can even shop for a whole cart full of shopping. Like, what experiences, like what path are they on? You know, what are they doing different from me? I used to wonder, like, and at that time, nilikuwa nawaona they have to be a special breed of women. Yeah, so anyway, live in Isli, nikatoka hapo. One time niliishi KU. KU is where Captain and I started actually, you know.
You lived in KU?
Sasa KU, nilienda kuishi na dem fulani kwa hostel.
Okay.
And
At least tumepata university experience.
Bana. But now the thing, there was this matron lady, alikuwa anakuja kuangalia like the people were staying in those houses when you're accommodate hapo and they're not supposed to be there, like they're not university students. You know, she used to sneak me in and out.
Yes.
Nilikuwa najifichanga ndani ya ka wardrobe. Hey, akil life wewe. Anyway, that was also the time that Captain and I met. And Captain was really, really important to me.
He was at KU?
No.
Okay.
You know, he was. I went for... Hey, if I say that part, people are going to know Captain is. No, he was a writer, you know. I really admired him. And I was also like becoming really, really interested in writing. So when I saw him, he was like my muse, you know. At first I was like,
Can I ask you a question? Earlier, you said that your husband, he was he was a representation of your idealization of the kind of person you wanted.
Yes. Captain was the exact opposite.
Actually. So I'm asking, was he the idealization of what you wanted to do? Like you wanted to be a writer?
Yeah.
Then you meet a writer?
Yeah.
Could you?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, that was it. Because when I met Captain, I was actually at this stage where I really wanted to, you know, get into writing and all of that. And I had eyes for Captain's friend.
Also a writer?
Yes, I was like really, really into his writing. I thought he was so funny. I didn't even know Captain at that point. Then I was talking to the friend. Then the friend left to go and talk to other fans. And then Captain walked up to me, looking like the angel of doom.
These are some event?
Yeah, it was some event, some writing event, yeah. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. This story is not about Captain. We have already said too much about the guy, yeah. Anyway, so I started working finally in 2022 November. From 2021 November to 2022 November, that's when I started working.
Resilience. 1 year of not being paid, eh?
Dude, I almost gave up at some point, but there was no giving up because I didn't have an option.
But you were making some money from the nails.
Nails, and then nikaenda nikafanya kazi kwa klabu. There was a time I was a waitress in a club.
You're the one who used to bring people, kuna this wine, kuna this what?
Yes, na hata sikuwa najua hizo pombe.
No, I mean like them. You were a waitress ama ulikuwa wale wa promotion?
Waitress.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't even know the alcohols. I had to learn them. But I was also telling myself that it's a good experience for me to work in a club so that I can learn how to work in like busy, crowdy people, because the aircraft, I thought to myself, was going to be like that. Besides, I also learning how to pour, you know, how to pour nicely. I was just getting the extra experience before I start my job in aviation. Plus, the club was good. It was paying me like $400 a day. You know, so, and also it was offering me, I used to go night shifts also, so I was also getting a place to sleep. In case I get kicked out, I used to sleep at the lounge and then I wake up and go to school. So yeah, it was like that. And sometimes, by the way, walevi wanakuanga watu wazuri, you know, like mlevi anaweza come hapo, he will be like, hi, you know, would you like a drink? I want to buy you a drink. So, mara ya kwanza mimi nilikuwa nawaambia kimi sikunywangi. Then wasichana wakaniambia acha ujinga. Unamwambia unakunywa, unamwambia kubaie wine ni 1500. And then unaenda kwa cashier, unaenda una exchange, unapewa do. I didn't know that. I learned that there.
Unapewa do?
So like
why Stella?
Cause mtu anakununulia pombe, the other one pombe because you're pretty, right?
Okay.
You can't drink those alcohols. So instead of, so mimi,
so atanunua but you will not take the one. Wewe utaikunywa.
Yeah, utakunywa, utaenda uambie cashier kwa bili ya yule ongeza 1500 amenibaia wine.
Yes.
So they will charge him for the wine, but they will not give you the wine, they'll give you the money. You know?
Fantastic.
Yeah. So me at first I used to tell them I don't drink because I actually wasn't drinking, you know? So I would tell them, no thank you, I don't drink. No thank you. After 3 days of doing this, the other ladies waka realize, they were like, kwani we ni dwanzi? Ebu funguka macho, you know? So I started collecting to 1500s pale, to 2K pale, nini. By the end of the week, unapata at least niko na some money, you know? I'm not struggling as much, but I don't have enough to pay at my own rent. I just have enough to survive, to cost share with this and that person. Yeah, then finally, in November, I started work. I remember your time nikianza kazi nilikuwa naishi Kayole Junction. Unatoka Kayole Junction mpaka JKIA kwenda flight, you know. And I remember my very first maiden flight, Eric Omondi came on board. I had never seen a celebrity before my whole life. Nakumbuka nilikuwa nimekaa nyuma, Eric Omondi, if you can remember this. Alikuja straight to me. Okay, my luck, just my luck. He came straight to me. Because I'm new, this is my first flight. The purser was standing at the front and our welcome. Yeye ndio anaongelesha sana. Mimi niko tu nyuma, nikiona mtu anasumbuliwa na bag naenda namsaidia. So I was even not trying to interact with them because I don't want them to know that I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This is my first experience. Eric Omondi comes straight to me. First of all, I was like, ni mfupi? When I see him in videos, he looks so tall. I was like, he's shorter than he looks on TV. Then he comes straight to me. He's like, Sasa, I'm like, poa. I would like a bottle of water. Hey. I told him, okay, I'll bring you a bottle of water. He went and sat down. Sasa problem. Sisi tulikuwa tumefunzwa kwa class. That's what I'm telling you. Class education and outside experience, two different things, my friend. In fact, if I can give advice to anybody, if you're in college, if you're in university, if you're doing a training, a job training, indoctrination, whatever, let me tell you this. Learn everything you need to learn about this skill, about this job. But the minute you get to that office, clear that, start afresh. You have a new learning experience. Otherwise, utashinda ukiargue na watu forever. You know, there's company SOPs, you know. There's company policies that are very different from class policies, you know. Like right now I'm doing, diploma in DPR, public relations, right, and diplomacy. I am very, very sure that the things I'm learning about HR, human resource management, news writing, all of that, when I get into the field, I will have to learn fresh new ones. Of course, they're going to be still backed by the education, but I know it's going to be a whole different thing. Because that was exactly the thing. In class, tulikuwa tumeambiwa, during boarding, you are not supposed to give water. You're not supposed to serve anything. Kuna time ya kuserve. Now, here is a passenger that has walked up to me and told me he's thirsty, he needs a bottle of water. Nevertheless, ni Eric Omondi, of all people, what do I do? Big question that you don't get in interviews. Utafanya?
Utanyima mtu maji.
Utamnyima maji ama utampatia? Are you going to break the policy? Or, considering this is somebody that can even go on social media, aseme nilifly na hii airline nini wakaninyima maji. Ama it could be this person wants to take medication before flight. It could be this person is actually really, really thirsty and they cannot wait until it's time for service, So it's just a lot of things to consider. Me, Betty Kilonzo, I played it safe. Nilikaa hapo sikumpea maji. Because it's my first day on the job. Unataka nimpe maji nianze kukeleleshwa nifutwe kazi. Niambiwe I'm incompetent na nimefunzwa kwa class nikaambiwa nisipeane. Mimi nilikaa. Nikasema nikajisaulisha, nikajifanya sijasikia, nikajifanya hata I went nikafunga the beans, the overhead beans. So when the pastor came to the back to brief me, kuniambia Betty, now you go to the front ufanye the emergency, we are going to do the emergency briefing, utafanya demonstration. So hapo ndo nikamwambia, by the way, Eric Omondi alikuwa ameniitisha maji akiboard. Kaniuliza, "Mbona kumpea?" I was like, kwa sababu tulikuwa tumeambiwa tungoje mpaka service. Akaniambia, "Pana mtu akitaka maji unampea." Now I learned. So nikienda kufanya demo nikampelekea. I took maji, nimeifunga na serviette, nimekelea kwa katray na kuambia first class service, nikampelekea. Sikumbuki kama alisema thank you. I felt like, the way I put so much effort in that service, he should have given me a standing ovation. Like, tunafaa tukue mabest. Like, he should have noticed, like, hey, akasiana kametia bidii. He should have been like, what's your name, But it was really lovely. Yeah, so I worked in aviation for 4 years. I tried my best. I'm always the kind of person that I really try my best to prove to people that give me opportunities that they didn't make a mistake with me, I don't like letting down people because by the end of the day, as much as it was toxic for those people to tell me it's not my right, by the end of the day, really, it's really not your right, That's like, with my son, I don't think that. That's why sometimes you're being told as a parent, the way you love your child, try to love yourself like that, but it's a journey, Sometimes I think people sometimes can get overly privileged, You think that things should just be handed to you just because, And it is true because your level of manifestation. But for me, I believe everything is a gift. I don't believe that I should just be handed everything. You know, right now you're sitting here with me. It could be just about anybody sitting here having this interview, but you picked me. You know, you're sitting there, you're giving me a listening ear, you're giving me a platform to talk about my story. How many stories are out there? More interesting stories than mine. But it's me that has been given this opportunity by both you and the universe right now to represent myself in this platform. And for that, I'm grateful, you know. So for me, I don't take it like, Eric needed me for this interview anyway, you know. For me, it's like everything that is handed to me is a gift, and I'm deeply grateful. And I try my level best to make sure that whoever handed me that gift, that opportunity, does never regrets, because I want to show them how fruitful their investment in me was, you know. So when Jetways gave me this opportunity, I really did my best. I really, really did my best in those 4 years. Believe it or not, I have never been sent home, or even like, not sent home. That sounded like we were in school. I have never been suspended for any like disciplinary things. I made my mistakes here and there. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you can forget, you can do this, but sijai pelekwa mbele ya disciplinary committee ever, or sent, or even like reprimanded ever for any disciplinary cases at all. Safety related, like I tried my best to learn as much as I could in that moment that I was there, until finally, you know, my time was done with Jetways, and then I left. And then that is when I jumped into editorial. While I was in Jetways, I was still writing. That is when I also wrote Closure. And I'm telling you, actually being in aviation helped me sell Closure so much. I sold Closure everywhere. Kila mahali tulikuwa tukiland, nauza Closure, you know? And a lot of some of the passengers that were coming in, they actually recognized me. They'll be, oh my God, it's Betty. Uko na ile kitabu yako, sign for us, sign for us. Ikafika mahali mpaka nikaanza kuulizwa kwani nauza kitabu.
Did you used to announce it?
No,
ile time unafanya
no. Because that was a personal thing, you know.
No, I mean, how did the passengers know about your book?
Strategy, you know. Well, I might be obedient, but that doesn't mean that I don't know law. That's why I even applied to law school at some point. You just bend the rules a little bit. So what I did, I would like, you know, during cruise, after tushamaliza service, I would sit there at, you know, in my jump seat, na naanza kusoma Closure. And then I would, nilikuwa nakaa, concentrate like it's the most interesting book ever. So mtu akikuja kuingia kwa lavatory, chances are, out of every 3 people, 2 people or 1 person is going to ask me, wow, what's this book you're reading? And then I'll be like, oh, actually, this is my book. Really? It's your book? Yes, it's my book. Yeah. Actually, hata niko nazo hapa kwa bag. Would you like a copy? Ni pesa ngapi? Ni 1,000. Shika, ndio hii.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so because I'm not allowed to sell the book on board, but they said nothing about me reading the book.
Well,
yeah,
okay,
so I would read my book. Sometimes hata nikiona hakuna mtu anakuja kwa washroom, naenda kwa galley, the front galley, nikiwa nimebeba kitabu yangu. Watu wanaona Closure. Nikipita, ninapita hivi mara 2, mara 3 mtu atanistopisha. Oh, what's this book you're carrying? I'll be like, actually, this is my book. Or during service, sometimes I would go serve alone. Sasa hizo ndio ilikuwa my best marketing times. When I'm serving, nikiona mtu anasoma, you know, I would see somebody reading a book, which in, you know, in the aircraft, almost all passengers are reading, right? I would stop like, hello, sir. Hi. Wow, that's a lovely book you're reading there. Yes. What is it about? It's good. Apple juice or orange? I'll take apple. Wow, good choice. Well, that book looks really, really interesting. Might you by any chance be interested in like romance stories, those kind of books? You know, I'm actually a writer. No way. Yeah, I am. Anyway, I stand there and be like, no, wait. Have you published a book yet? Yeah, actually, I have a copy of my book at the back. If you want, you can come and I will show you. Then chances are 90% of the time they will come at the back, and then I'll sell them a copy. You know, and then sometimes it would actually be people who know me. I would be serving, they'll be like, wait, I know you, it's Betty Kilonzo. So here's where Captain comes in. You see, when I was meeting Captain, he had a social media following, he was a writer and everything, right? So those who have read Closure know my relationship with Captain. I was always feeling inadequate when it came to him. Because he met me in a very low moment in my life, like financially, life-wise, everything. I was living, hoping from one place to the other, you know. I was really struggling. So I thought to myself that the reason he didn't love me was because I was struggling. So I thought if I could show him my potential, then he was going to love me. He was going to realize that I was worthy of his love, you know. And because he's a writer, and I also knew that I had the gift, I had to hone my skills as a writer. So I became very, very, you know, active on social media, on Facebook. That's when I created my page, Black Status. I actually created that page to impress a guy, you know. So I started doing my own stories. Venye alikuwa na post zake, pia mimi na post zangu. Ndio nimuonyeshe venye we are so twinning, you know. I ended up liking the thing so much. I ended up liking it so much and growing so much hadi nikampita. You know, right now, even when you look at Captain's social media page and my page, like, maybe I have more followers than him, you know. I actually became way better than him at this Facebook thing because he was not a very social guy, you know. But me, I'm social. And remember adapting, right? Niliingia kwa writing scene. Kwanza hata nikaanza kujulikana na watu, nini, nikaingizana na writers. I created my own writing community, my own identity and everything. So by the time I was publishing Closure, I had my whole community. I had my Black Status family.
And you'd also done some poetry books?
Yeah, there are poetry books with Scholastica Mora, This Heart of Mine, you know, that were also poems about Captain.
How did you guys meet with Akina Scholastica?
She invited me for a book launch.
This other lady, Akech?
No, actually, Scholastica was the first person.
Okay.
So she invited me for her book launch. I couldn't make it. Then we kept communication. We became friends. We started meeting up. Then she got me into, like, alikuwa ananipeleka my events, Nairobi Lit Fest, vitu kama hizo, you know. I didn't even know those events existed in Kenya, you know. You'll be really, really surprised at how, you know, a lot of people don't even know that the literally world exists in Kenya, depending with where you are in life. Unadhani mtu wa welding anafikirianga stories za nini NIBF. Exactly. But when you get yourself in that world, suddenly these things start opening for you. It's like when your brain decides this is what I want to do, that world opens. Like right now you might not know a lot about music. If today you decided that I want to become a musician, suddenly utakuwa unajuana na musicians, utakuwa unajuana na DJs, phone yako itakuwa imejaa DJs. So that's the power of manifestation actually, right there. That's the power of manifest. The minute you start manifesting a certain thing, your reality changes. And that's why this is proof that reality is not real. You create your own reality. Say yule kashosho mwenye ako huko ushago, analima. Her reality ni hiyo shamba yake. Reality yake ni mvua, mahindi, you know, cereals, how to preserve them, how to not to preserve them, how to live her life there. But take that kashosho, let's say siku moja uende ukakarekodi hivi ka trend on TikTok. Sasa uanze kukafanyisha content creation, kakue kashosho ka TikTok. Reality yake ita change. Suddenly atakuwa nakutananga na tushosho twingine twenye tunafanyanga TikTok content. Now she has become a social media person. Now her reality is changed. So reality is not real. So if you don't like the reality you're in, just change it. Like, and I know it sounds so privileged of me to just say, just change it. But I'm telling you, there are many realities that I had to outgrow. Many realities. Reality number one, when I was in Kitui, nikifanya mjengo, paying my house, I was comfortable, you know, in that space. But I wanted more. If I didn't want more, if all I wanted was just nyumba yangu, mtoto wangu, peace of mind na job that inalipa, my reality would have become mjengo, which actually it almost did. I became so good at mjengo, you know, walinifunza kuweka tiles. Nilikuja nikakuwa mzuri, nikaanza kufikiria, so what I'm gonna do, nitaenda nifanye building and construction, ni advance nikuje nikuwe fundi, because mafundi walikuwa nalipwa 800 to 1000. Mtu kikulipa 1000 per day, in 30 days, sio ni 30k. Nilikuwa naona that's double of what I'm getting. So my reality had already started shaping in the direction of mafundi. I was going to become one hell of a fundi. Nilikuwa nisha visualize. I'd even seen like nita specialize in interior design because I really loved the interior designing thing, you know. I was like, nilikuwa nimeshajiona na niende ni advance my education a little bit. But then my reality changed when I started doing sales and marketing, you know. And then it changed again when I got into aviation. So I started dreaming different dreams, you know. And then when I was in aviation, that's when I met Captain. And to impress him, I started writing. And that writing kwanza ilikuwa kama jokes, just to be funny on social media and also show him that, you know, like we match, we vibe, we have things in common. But the more I was writing, the more I was realizing, wait a damn minute, I'm a writer. Wow. Kumbe naweza convince watu. Kumbe naweza come up with a story na watu actually waniamini. You know, like every morning I would wake up and like 600 people wamesoma story yangu. I would be like, wow, 600 people actually took the time to read my story. I must be really good. And it went on. So when I met Scholar introduced me to the writing world. Then I started reading Kenyan authors, you know. And please don't come at me for this, but let me tell you, sometimes the motivation you need is not in the best thing. It's actually in the bad version of the thing. Because the thing that made me realize I can write and I can actually become a writer was reading crappy books. Nilikuwa nasomanga vitabu zingine na shanga, what the hell? Mimi, I'm not a writer, but I can write better than this person. You know? All along I'd been reading great writers. And those, I think, made me realize like writing is so impossible. Like you have to have a certain level of education for you to be a writer, which you do. But it had made writing so impossible because I was reading really big people, you know. And then I started reading some books that were not, you know, some local writers. And I was like, hata pia mi naona hapa verb tense agreement haiko sawa. Hata pia mi naona you should have put a comma here. And now I started editing their works, you know. And I realized I can write better than these people. I was like, wait, this person aliandikanga hivi na anauzanga hii kitabu yake na inanunuliwa na watu. And it was actually published. What is stopping me from getting mine published and selling them to people? Because if people are buying this, they will definitely buy mine, you know, and because I can do better than this. So that was how I actually like ended up deciding that I'm gonna become a writer. So when Scholar approached me and told me, hey, do you wanna collaborate in a poetry book together? I was more than happy. Me, I didn't even care about the money. At least tutauza tupate pesa. Nana. I just wanted to see my book, my name on print. And I got that. My confidence yangu ikaanza kugrow. Of course, kuna watu walinibully, sitawataja majina, but mnajijua. Tabia mbaya. I was bullied, by the way. Writing scene is brutal. At some point, karibu hata ni quit. Yeah. Those literally spaces. Unaenda kuongelesha mtu hivi to seek advice, unajibiwa vibaya, unaenda unakaa chini. Unaenda kuuliza mtu, do you know a good editor? Mtu anakusnob like you're beneath their feet. Unaenda kutry kumarket kitabu yako kwa mtu, designer na react. Unasikia tu comments watu wana make about the book you've written. Yani unasikia umekuwa broken hadi, you know, unasikia tu you never want to lift a pen again in your whole life or sit in front of a laptop. But we persevered. We persevered through that. And that is, you know, second story was Closure, which I didn't mean for it to be a book. Actually, it was just like my journal entries. But then somebody
You said second story?
To Closure.
You said second story?
I didn't mean for it to be a story. Okay. It was just like my journal entries. Okay. You know, yeah, but somebody read the book, you know, a friend of mine called Rox. Rox alisoma. No, I know the book. I sent him the journal entries. They were online. Nilimtumia akaniambia, wow, this should be a book. And that's how we decided, let's publish this book. And we did. And Closure has been my breakthrough in the writing world. Yeah. Closure has connected me with a lot of people. I wanted Closure to go into the whole world not because I wanted to be famous, not because I wanted to make a lot of money. In fact, some of the books that I'm going to zipiana for free. Ukiniambia tu nenda in a certain country that's outside of Kenya, I'll give you Closure for free, upeleke huko na uache huko. For me, Closure was like me scattering roses. He loves me not. He loves me not. Closure was my last battle cry in fighting for my love with Captain. I was thinking to myself, if I can prove to this man that I can make him global, that's a height for me. Then he will definitely see what I'm capable of doing and how much we deserve to be together. Like I'm worthy of you. I want to show you I can even make you global. And I did make him global. In fact, the day Nili put my stamp on the global thing was the day my book went to Indonesia. Freaking Indonesia. I've never been to Indonesia. I don't even know if I'll ever go to Indonesia. You know, unless there's some interesting things there. This book went to places I've never been. It went to New York. When it went to New York, it was a dream come true. Because New York, for me, is such a romantic place. I don't know. People might think not, but for me, it's such a bookish, literally, you know, fictional, romanticized place for artists. For like an artist like me, I think like New York is just so romantic in an artsy way, in its messiness, in its hardships. When you find love in New York, then that's real love. you know. So I wanted Closure to go to New York, and Closure went to New York, Closure went to Germany, went to Italy, it went to, I can go on and on, Sudan, Somalia, Mogadishu, kila mahali. Kwanza I even went to Mogadishu at one point, and somebody was like, wait, you're Betty Kilonzo? It was actually someone that was booking me in their hotel. They saw my name, they were like, are you the Betty Kilonzo? Then ananitolea Closure, like, oh my God, I have your book. Hata sikuwa najua ilifika aje huko, you know. And when I did that, bado sikupendwa. You know, you might be the sweetest, juiciest mango in this whole world. You'll still never be enough for a person who prefers oranges. You know? So the problem is not you, babe. Shida si wewe. Shida we ni maembe na yeye anapenda machungwa. And it took me a long time for me to understand that. And I also feel like it was also stemmed in my past, you know, like I've always been a people pleaser in a way, you know. For me, if I love you and I believe in ROIs, and not ROIs, I believe in, what are they called? Success, product, you know, like how to measure productivity. What is it called?
KPIs?
Yeah, KPIs. I believe in KPIs, you know. I believe that, you know, unaweza kuwa unipendi, but I can show you just how much I deserve to be loved. My KPIs are the ones that should determine how much you love me. Later nilikuja kurealize that was actually part of also like trauma thing, you know. People love you or they don't love you. Like you don't force it, you don't manipulate it, there's nothing you can do. When people love you despite of yourself, yeah, you don't do nothing. Yeah, so learned that many years later after this thing with Captain. But yeah, so that's how Closure came by. Yo bidii yote mlikuwa mnaona nikiuza vitabu. It was love. Actually, what people do for love, it was love. Na try kuuza kitabu as much as I can, so because if Closure is a success, then Captain is gonna realize that he has a body, he has a big one, a good one in his arms. Nah, it didn't work actually, because feelings za Captain hazikuwa change. Actually, later in life, we met with Captain and I made a joke with him. It was a joke, but it was kind of like a painful joke. I made a joke like, what? Yani, I have the money, I have the confidence, I have the everything. Like, I'm no longer the kamshamba lady that you once met. Na bado unitaki. Ai, kweli yo kukosa kunitaka ni for real, you know? Like, can you imagine, like, sikuwa nakutaka ukiwa broke. You go to America, unaenda unafanya kazi, bank alert. Ukirudi bado sikutaki na hiyo pesa yote. Enyewe that kukosa kukutaka, that hatred has to be. Okay, it wasn't hatred, but it was more of like sikutaki. In whatever format ukikuwa angel, I still don't want you, like, yeah. So Aviation nikafanya kazi, tukafika point, I had to switch sides because actually editorial was paying me so well, you know. Yeah.
How did you get into editorial?
The same way I got into writing, honestly, like people were reading my book, watu wanaanza kuni approach, hi Betty, I have this manuscript, would you mind looking at it? At first nilikuwa nafanya for free. Naangalia vitabu, manuscripts of so many words, I will be there all night plus flights on top of that. Na nafanya all of that for free. I give editorial reports for free, you know. Yeah. And then I got into kitabu. They gave me a chance. I started doing editorial reports for them. Evo consultancy. Yeah. And then I think they made it real for me. They made it real by employing me. I realized, wow, kumbe I can do this. So actually, like, as we speak, by the end of this month, I'm going to get my editorial certificate, you know, from Britain, nevertheless. So I'm glad about that. So yeah, so they gave me that chance, they gave me that opportunity, and I just started learning, and taking it more personal, because I came and realized I actually really value Kenyan writers. I think we have stories, we have a lot of stories, but I also feel like the education system failed us. Sahi nikisema the Frog's Kingdom, every Kenyan anajua. We were taught in this blanket kind of ignorant way. Literature is not taught properly, especially in high schools. I feel like high schools are more advanced for the kind of literature that they learn, you know. They should be learning more. For example, you should not be beating a child because they're not following a specific order. You know, you're just teaching a kid to write a composition for the exams. But a writer is ungoverned. I feel like the Kenyan curriculum could allow children their creativity. And I thank God for international schools and CBC. Actually, the curriculum has changed now, you know. So allowing kids their creativity, their curiosities is, yeah, allowing kids their curiosity, their creativity is actually what makes for great writers. Most Kenyan writers, ukisoma vitabu zao ziko restricted. Wanaandikanga nikambe kuna mtu atawachapa. You know, they're either too wordy or they're too stingy with the story. They don't want to be honest. If you write a sex scene, they don't know how to write it properly because, you know, you've grown up with this taboo notion of around sex, you know. You don't want to play around with your characters. Hautaki character wako akuwe so evil. Ama ukimfanya evil una overdo. Unaeka, is either something that is so fictionalized is almost not real, or you're withholding so much. You know how people can even write a series like You know? They can just play with the psychology of that character, get really there, go crazy with it, you know. That freedom, most people don't learn it until way later in life. Most of us, we just come from high school, tukiwa na hiyo restrictions zimetubeba. So even in our writing, we are restricted like that, you know. So in my position right now as an editor, the one thing that I really try my best to do is to remove those inhibitions from my writers. I want you to go into the maddest part of your brain. Fish that demon. Bring that demon into paper. Let us read that madness. I want to read your madness. Yeah, like make it that. Stop trying to play with, sasa wamama wa kanisa wakisoma hii. Write it. Write your truth. And as an editor right now, when I read your story, nione development yako umeanza kuplay safe, I will flag it for you. I'll flag it. I'll tell you, you played safe here. You played safe here, and you need to go back to the drawing board, and you need to do this the right way. I'm telling you, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to mention names, but there's a certain writer, a big writer in Kenya, actually.
Don't mention.
I'm not going to mention, that we're working with right now, right? And she had a lovely story. Really great story. But there was some inhibitions there. Nakumbuka tulikutana editorial meeting. Tulipigana wewe. I'm like, no, let's unajua, you know. And then we were like, okay, let's take a break. We went and took a break. Days later, she texted me. I even still have the message on my phone. She texted me, she was like, Betty, thank you so much. That I didn't want to admit it to myself. It was actually the thing I was avoiding doing. And when you brought it out, it pushed me to go and do it. And I'm sure, like, by the time that book comes out, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to tell you, this is the book I was telling you about. It's a project we're working on, so I'm not allowed to talk about it right now.
Another book.
You don't?
I'll tell you after the show, but I know it.
Yeah, it was, but that was really satisfying for me as an editor, because, you know, I actually did what I felt like being an editor is all about, which is take that inhibition, let's crush it. You know, I'm going to be that voice you're trying to stifle in your head. That voice, unaanza kuji-edit, unaanza kujiambia, let me be reasonable. Reasonable for what? This character was clearly heading into a whole mental breakdown or something. Let them go through that. And then there's also this notion of, si watu watani judge. You know, people will start thinking I'm the character. So now you want to write the character into some sort of, also moral stories. We were always told all compositions need to have moral stories. Sometimes it's just a story. It has no moral. There's no moral. The moral will be found within the story. It's not all the time that you always have to end with, anyway, that is why hard work pays. You don't always have to end like that. Sometimes hard work doesn't pay and it's okay. That's reality. That's life. Sometimes, for example, if I was writing my story, right? In order to make Betty, the character, look like a dutiful wife and, you know, victimized by her husband, I wouldn't make her yell those horrible things to the husband, you know. I would dilute it. I would be like, why did you cheat? And then the husband beats her so that all the women can feel empathy for me and be like, oh yes, she was innocent. you want her to be flawless. But that's not the truth. The truth is that mimi pia nilikuwa hapo, nilimwambia wewe, babako, bradhako, uncle yako, hata majirani, cheza na mimi. You think I can't be a baddie, you know? So you write the story as it is. Yeah.
I think tumeenda
past.
No. Tumefika where we wanted the story to reach.
Ndo tunaanza sasa.
No, I mean, you've told the story, like the whole idea of from this to this.
Yeah.
How you have created yourself, built yourself. You know that quote, I built this shit, me, brick by brick.
Yeah, for real. Sometimes I don't, let me tell you, I usually have this journal where I watched this movie called War Room. War Room ni kama zile movies za Tyler Perry, where there was this woman that was struggling in a marriage that was shaking, and then mamake akamwambia, write the things you want and do like little boxes, and then pray over them. When they come to fruition, or when they come to pass, you go back and tick, so you can see what the Lord has done for you. So I took that concept of War Room and I use it in my own life. Right now, there's a journal somewhere yenye iko na box ijatikiwa ya Cape Town. So when those things happen, I always go back and tick. Or sometimes I even forget, I don't tick at all until the end of the year. So when I'm going to write more war room points, ndio nafungua previous year. Then I realize, oh my God, this came to pass, this came to pass, this came to pass. So doing that has actually helped me count my blessings. Otherwise, I wouldn't know, because you see, the way I adapt quickly into new environments sometimes can make me forget really fast about where I was. So I have to keep track in order for me to track my gratefulness, you know. Not to say that, now I have to always be looking back and being like, no. But it's just when sometimes I'm feeling like, there are those days you wake up and you're feeling like, I'm not really going as fast as I want. I'm not achieving the things I want. There are those days that you feel that way. Okay. It's good to go back and look at where you've come from. It's good to go back and remind yourself that you are fine at some point. When I was struggling getting over captain, I kept reminding myself that I survived a whole divorce with a child. I'm going to survive, hallelujah, man. Nita survive. Nilikuwa najua inauma. Inauma sana, lakini nita survive. It was hard. When I lost my job at Jetways, I was really, really scared. Because that was my first official job. Plus, ilikuwa inanipatia identity. Let me tell you, by the way, I'm going to say an unpopular opinion. Anything that becomes your identity becomes your limitation. You see, the marriage was my identity. Some people have identified with their marriage so much that even if it becomes toxic, they can't leave. When I was in aviation, it had become so much of my identity to the point where even when in a month I was literally saving zero because the money was not, but then you'll be surprised. Aviation depends with the airline you're in, The bigger, of course, the more money you get. So even when it got to a point where like I was financially drowning, mentally pia, I'm stressed, working hours, I'm barely seeing my baby, all of that time, I still couldn't leave because I am Betty the flight attendant. I couldn't leave. So when the circumstances forced me to leave, I changed my identity. Now my identity is an editor for now. But you see what I'm grateful for is that right now I've realized I'm not tied to one identity. And that's what I said at the beginning of this video. I am not one person. I'm a lot of things. My story is not one story. I am many stories in one. So if I wake up tomorrow morning and the editorial is no longer serving the purpose that it was supposed to serve in my life, it's bye-bye to you guys. I'll kiss you, bye-bye. I'll go into modeling. Actually, I've always wanted to be a model, I'll do modeling. If modeling doesn't start being fulfilling to the mission or to the place where I am at in life, I'll switch. I'll go to fashion and design. I will switch. Like I have a lot of things I can do. I'll get into journalism. Nitaanzisha podcast. Hell, I'll start a podcast. Who knows? Maybe itakuwa kama ile Obina show. Nitaanza kuhost Vurugu 3 or something, Yeah. Or instead of Vurugu, maybe I'll be doing like you know what I would do? Instead of Rugu, I would be getting those sworn enemies, my artists wenye ni ma sworn enemies, then I would be putting them like a patanisho, but for artists. Like, wewe Calligraph Jones, kwa nini haupendi Octopizo? Tell me.
Okay. So, but you are going to start a podcast, isn't it?
Yes, actually.
Abu Ambia, as we wind up, tell people about it and what channel to follow.
Oh yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, Betty Kilonzo here. I am attempting to start a podcast. You know, I want it to be like Life with Betty. So you feel like you have a motivating story, or you don't even need to have achieved everything, because I believe everybody has a story. It's those stories that I want to hear. You know, I want to do like, but if I tell them what I want to do, they will steal my idea.
Like they've already seen you.
Yes.
They've already seen
anyway,
how,
it's gonna be perfect.
How engaging you are.
We'll just be meeting. I'll be meeting with random people, and we'll just be talking about stories. Chill, you know, I'll be offering you wine or whatever you're drinking. Si maji kama hapa kwa Rugara.
Tell them what channel to follow right now.
So right now I have a YouTube channel called Life with Betty. If you just go Life with Betty Kilonzo on YouTube, you're going to find me there. Also, you can follow my Facebook page, Black Status, Betty Kilonzo. So just search Betty Kilonzo. All of my handles are there, my Instagram, my X, all of that. But on YouTube, it's Life with Betty Kilonzo. And I know you're going to find videos there zenye zilishutiwa kitambo with some very bad phone camera. Please forgive those videos. That was just me manifesting. See, I started manifesting this thing a long time ago.
By the way, hujatuambia uko na gari.
Manifested that too.
She has a car, by the way, right now.
Ai, nasikia ni kama tuna brag sasa. No, but okay, so here's the thing. Let me just say, you know, part of the segments, part of the interviews that I wanted to do was before you're famous kind of interviews, where I take regular people that have potential. You know, like kwa streets unaweza pata a street kid anachora, but hajajulikana, hajajitokezea, you know. Where I want to be doing interviews with them, I'll be interviewing them as if they were famous. You know, so that when they get famous, they can always go back to that clip and be like, you see, I was once at Betty's show before the whole showbiz took me in and before I became famous, you know. Can you imagine if we had Before You Were Famous kind of podcast for like Ali Kiba and all these other, like Rihanna, right? So let me do my own version of Before I Was Famous. See, right now I have 47,000 followers on Facebook, and I have, is it 6 followers? 46?
46. I don't know. On YouTube.
On Facebook, I have 47,000 followers, right? On YouTube, I have 46, 4 and 6 subscribers peke yake, you know? X na Instagram is what hatutasema. Like, I am not famous.
TikTok you have?
I'm not
2K?
famous. TikTok, I think ni 2K, 3K hapo, I don't know. Kidogo though. You know, I'm not famous. So I'm gonna do a Before I'm Famous interview. I just want to say, this podcast is really going to hit. It's going to be a success. And Betty Kilonzo is going to become a household name, not just in Kenya, but the whole world. And you heard it first from Betty Kilonzo here with Eric Rugara on 22nd of June, 2026. Mark my words. For real. This is, we're doing an experiment. Let's see if alchemy actually works.
Okay.
I'm manifesting right now. You're going to see me in big screens later in life. And this manifestation is starting right this minute.
This video will have 100,000 views.
More than 100,000 actually. This is going to blow up. Yeah. Mbona isi blow up na vile tumepeana motivation.
100,000 ime blow up.
Ay, millions. Waongelele. Unono mse. Like, reality zake man. Like, why are you on survival? Be talking millions.
Millions?
Yeah. Yes.
Take us away.
To where?
Funga show. No, wambie, subscribe to this channel. Blah,
yes.
blah.
Oh, I'm closing?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's so nice of you. This has been nice. Thank you guys for watching. This is Conversations with in Literature with Eric Rugara. Yeah. And subscribe, share, comment. Please comment. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell him what you're thinking. Share this message. Not for me, but for other people out there. let's share these stories, because I'm telling you, in order to create your story, sometimes you need to listen to other people's stories. You need to listen to other people that have done the story for you to know that the story is actually what? Doable, right? Maybe there's a girl out there that wanted to become a flight attendant. I did it, girl. I did it. From Django to flight attendant, it is possible. From flight attendant to a successful editor, and I will just say that for now, because I'm appreciating myself where I am, right? If it's paying my bills, it's successful, right? It can be done. It can be done. You can do that career. You can make that career hope. If you're not happy at your workplace, it is true, you will survive after you leave. Actually, that was one of the biggest fears that I had. I knew I had to leave aviation, but I was wondering, nita survive aje uko nje. Uta survive, imagine, cheki si kukufa. Imagine I made it to the other side. Unaweza toka hiyo mjei, najua uko site sahi, you can have a different reality if you wanted to. So share, subscribe, like, comment, do everything. Love you guys and thank you. I want to do that